Have you ever asked yourself, why did you resonate with the Detroit Lions? Like, have you ever asked yourself, why the Detroit Lions? And it's not so much that it's the Detroit Lions, but what is it about the lion that you resonate with? You see, there's funny known fact that even the most beat down lion will lick his wounds, move forward, and strive to continue to be the best version of himself. Somebody today has licked their wounds, gotten up, showed up here, and shown that they have the ability to be the best version of themselves. I want to take a moment to applaud you, to let you know that your strength is growing day by day, little by little. And that each moment you take a step forward to being a better version of you makes you a special piece of art. But if you're somebody who's having a little bit of trouble, if you're somebody who's just quite not found the switch, then you should probably reach out and get help. 3 numbers, 988, will connect you with somebody who can assist you in getting help. You don't got to give them your name. You don't got to give them long stories. You simply just got to make a phone call and have a conversation. And if you can find the energy, the power, the will to do that, well, you yourself are your own beast. You yourself are already building into a direction that you need to go. But what I want to make sure that we get clear here today is that I hear from you, not about you. So before you make a decision that we have to live with, make one you can live with and get help by dialing 988. Because whether you know it or not, tomorrow needs you. Now let's talk football.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
What's going on, Pride Nation? We back at it again. Tried to get on this thing yesterday, and as always, the 9 to 5 said, nope, I need you here. So guess what? I'm here today. So we got to talk us some talk today. Got to get it done today. And I'm glad it happened this way because I got some stuff to talk about. So if you came in here today with your negative energy, wait till you get a load of my assessments because I'm starting to see things that just isn't quite right. I'm starting to see a lot of narratives that are being pushed out of there that's giving me, you know what, this could be okay. This could be okay vibes. Like I want people to know that I'm gonna get a little patty today because I need to talk to a certain fan base, not everybody, but a certain fan base who I believe needs a little bit of reality check. Before I get into that, ladies and gentlemen, let me see who's in the building with me today. Oh, and before I do anything else, let me do this really quick because I want to make sure I leave no doubt. Now, I'm going to put the link in there. All right. I'm going to put that out there. I'm putting the link in there right now. All right. But I want you to understand something. I'm finna talk some stuff that you may not want to be a part of. I'm just going to put it out there. After I talk it, if you want to jump in and speak your piece, by all means. But understand that I'm about to go there today because yesterday I tried something, day for yesterday, I tried something a little different and it didn't go the way I thought it would go. So I'm just going to go with the original plan. We got my man, One Funky Lion fan in the building. Tim Hutchinson is in the building. 1991 Max Stagg is in the building. Looney Tune is in the building. Friendly Neighborhood Lions fan is in the building. We got my man Detroit Made Me in the building. We got Kurt Romero in the building. Midwest Lion, Gino, Go Lion, the Blue Boogeyman, Craig Ferguson, Barbary Lion. We got my man Greasy in the building. It says, and the new king of the North is the Lion. John Capital's in the building. We got C. Perry in the building. Chris Wallace, Dr. Detroit's in the building. We got my man Dante Alexander is in the building. We got Raw Podcast, aka TA, in the building. We got Roar the Lions UK and my awesomely better looking twin Anthony in the building. Says, what up, Luke and chat? Hope you're all having a great day. I hope so too. Chopper Trav is in the building. The Singles Dad Club is in the building. Make sure I ain't missed nobody. Black Spirit is in the building. That Fan Man is in the building. Triggered Easily is in the building. It says only a Detroit Lions show can have a suicide hotline intro. Yes, it's next month. No, matter of fact, May. So a few months from now will be 2 years since my best friend committed suicide. That's why I do it every show. 1991 Max Stag, I already got you already. Let me see, make sure I ain't miss nobody, man. We got my man Brandon McMillan in the building. Right or Wrong is in the building, man. I love when I see Ryder in the building. Right, I see you over there putting in work, man. Every time I comment, I feel like they're trying to block me or something. So I be trying to keep it PR. I be trying to keep it PR. Crimson Shadow was in the building. Combat Sex is in the building. Sean J is in the building. It says, Luke, you are always going there. It's about to be real bad today. At least I ain't gonna say it's gonna be real bad, but it's gonna be different. Benny Siegel's in the building. 9 Drinks in the building. Dan Talks Football's in the building, who I will be going live with tomorrow to talk all of the free agents moves and draft and a host of other things on his channel. So stay tuned for that. Ghost Gunner is in the building. Let's see. Kool-Aid Kid is in the building. Perry Ball is in the building. Nemesis Breaks in the building. And Dr. Pepperoni is in the building. Mikhail Holt's in there too. What's going on, people? Listen, I'm happy everybody's here. I'm happy everyone's here. It's time to get patty. Let's get active. I stayed quiet. I sat up yesterday. I didn't say nothing. Work held me out for a reason. I believe the universe felt the reason to stop me. And the reality is, when this music come on, I'm probably triggered. And I was triggered yesterday, and I'm triggered today. I'm triggered yesterday because I watched a host of people make something out of nothing. Look what you're talking about. I'll explain. The first thing that stands out to me is Georgia had a pro day. And now all of a sudden, everybody wants out. The man has resolved his legal issues. Well, look, who are you talking about? I'm talking about Jalen Carter. Well, look, what's the problem with Jalen Carter? The problem is simple. This fan base is delusional. They have lost their damn mind. And not all of them, but there's a strong set of fans who need some help. I'm not even sure Holy Water can help them, because they have said things that I don't understand. For example, they say, oh, how can you take Jalen Carter? He came in 9 to 10 pounds heavier. Okay. Since when has it been a bad thing for a defensive tackle to be fat? When did that happen? When did we all of a sudden don't want fat guys? Did y'all forget that many of you wanted Jordan Davis last year, who weighed more than Jalen Carter? Well, Luke, that's not the problem. That's not the problem, Luke. The problem is he had a bad pro day. And you remember Jarvis Landry? Yeah, he had a bad pro day. Seen the ball out just well. Well, that's different, Luke. No. You remember Aaron Curry? He had a great pro day. How'd that work out? You remember Darius Haywood Bay? How did that work out? Remember Jamarcus Russell? They had great days. Remember Vernon Ghostin? All these people who had great workouts, great pro days. How'd that work out? And you are up here concerning yourself with a guy who got probation because they had to do something. They had to do something. You worried about a dude who got probation for street racing a car? Well, look, it's how he handled it afterwards. And he just seemed like he wasn't prepared through the adversity. Don't care what you're talking about, people. If he is there at 6, he should be on your draft board. And he should be coming off your draft board, being drafted as a Detroit Lion. Y'all sitting up here giving high-ass grades to meh players in free agency, and there's an opportunity for you to get a talent that goes beyond what you have. And instead of you looking at that, you make a big deal out of it. Well, he may not be able to handle this. He may not be able to handle all this stuff. Handle what? What does the tape say? Did the tape say he couldn't handle it? Did the tape say he's not good? What did the tape say? Don't tell me anything else outside of what the tape say. Well, Brad Holmes don't like these guys. They're turds, and this would be another point of emphasis for this general manager that apparently, God forbid, if I say anything about I'm the devil. I even had a show yesterday where I opened it up for you to talk about it, to discuss and tell me your thoughts about the free agency. And it ended up being me being called a hater for asking fair questions. Meanwhile, here's a guy, well, he looked like he was out of shape and out of breath. How can you on one hand say, oh, we got this head coach and this, and we got that, and yet y'all don't trust them to get him ready to go before September? What are we doing? You got people still thinking because Sauce Gardner balled out that we should take a corner this year at 6. Newsflash, I hate to break it to you, but your defense gave up a lot of runs, and they wasn't going outside, people. They were going right up the gut. And guess what? Your inside linebacker is still here. The D tackles that was there, they're still here. And you think that you can pass up on a talent like that? Got it. Well, Luke, we can go out and get Chancey later. We can get him and add him too. Okay. Why not get them both? Why not get them both? My problem is I don't want to keep hearing this. Then we get to this next thing. I've noticed that the fan base that every person the Lions get is the second coming of something Hall of Fame. Where did this shit start? I see it all the way from years ago all the way up to now. Where did it start? And I got a guess in the back. I see you. Don't go nowhere. I'm finna bring you in. Just let me cook a few more minutes. Where did this stuff start? Where did this start where we just all of a sudden now, every person that comes to Detroit is absolutely great? I mean, what are we talking about? You need talent. 5 years, your defense has been hot garbage. And you want to pass on the guy because he didn't have a good pro day? Did he do good at the combine? That wasn't a good enough test. You needed more? You just couldn't take the tape. The tape wasn't enough. Okay, the combine wasn't enough. Oh, it's the pro day that's the problem. Why are we doing this? I just don't understand it. I had to get my rant out. I had to let it be said because people didn't want to hear it. I'll talk about the other acquisitions, but like I said, the link is in the description for you to come in and talk to me. I'm all ears. I bring in my first guest. I'm excited to see him here. I hope he's ready to rock and roll. If you is, you can hear me unmute your mic real quick so I can see that you unmuted. Perfect. All right. Let me get my first guest in here. I'm going to take my Patty music off for a second because I got it off my system. I got more than that, but I'm going to comment right here. Let me bring in my first guest, Mr. Right or Wrong. What's going on, brother?
Not a whole lot. How's it going?
Man, I'm trying my best.
Hey, I don't know what to tell you. Some people just like to find things to nitpick.
I cannot believe that we're going to ignore the film. Fuck the film. That don't matter, right? I can't believe we're going to skip over that. We're going to skip over what he did at the combine, and we're going to make Mount Everest out of the pro day?
Well, it even came out that like during his interviews at the combine, a lot of teams liked him. Like I know there was one that was like the Cardinals came out and they said they had a really good interview with Jalen Carter, but like nobody talks about that. So who knows?
Listen. You know the sad part about it? I made this comment in my Discord, right? Where, and shout out to the people who in the Discord. If you're not in it, you really want to get in there. It be all kind of conversations going on up in there. But anyway, I made this comment in the Discord that says the Lions pass on Jalen Carter. Get ready and prepare to play him 2 times a year because he will be taken by the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears still have him on their list for 30 visits.
Yep.
But for this is another thing that irritated me, and I didn't get to it. This idea that, oh, well, we want guys for the culture. You need a bad guy. Some bad guys can be for the culture. I'm sorry. Some bad guys can be. Oh, don't. And you know the other part I didn't get to because you came in and spared the people. Okay, I didn't get into the Jamal Williams talk, but I'm gonna get into it, and they ain't gonna like that stuff too because I'm trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with us. You have people up here crying and complaining about Jamal Williams like we didn't just upgrade that position.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. They just got a much better running back for $2 million extra a year.
Take it a step further. Last year and the year before that, when Jamal Williams came in, by show of hands, put it in the chat. I want to see, by show of hands, from the last 2 seasons when Jamal Williams came in, who thought we was passing the ball? Because it shouldn't be a single damn hand up. Nobody thought we was passing the ball when Jamal Williams came in. When Swift came in, it could be a run, could be a pass. Now you go out and you add David Montgomery, who can catch, who can run, and people was mad talking about, you can't just lose a guy like that. Lose a guy like what? I was told for weeks and months, you got to bring him back for the culture, man. No, you don't. The culture should start with the front office and the coaches. I ain't never heard nobody be like, oh, the Patriots, they need to bring this guy back for the culture. It's Bill Belichick. Stop playing. I'm just trying to figure out. What am I missing, man? Tell me what am I missing, Ryder? Tell me. It's me.
I mean, I was a fan of Jamal Williams. I won't lie. I thought I liked his character. I liked the whole, just the personality, but I thought he was a very good leader. But I'm also not too upset that he's gone. Like, David Montgomery is a better receiving back.
Yep.
He's more than good at blocking. Like, Jamal Williams was a good pass blocking back, but David Montgomery can do it just as well. He's better at contact balance. Because I was curious about this morning. I was doing research where David Montgomery had a half yard less of blocking every carry. So every carry before contact, he had 2 yards before contact every carry. Jamal Williams had 2.5. And after contact, Jamal Williams averaged 1.7 yards after contact, while David Montgomery averaged 2.
You know what's funny, though? You know what's funny?
David does more with
this is another thing that's been killing me. We've been pulling some of the most obscure stats out of our ass for these players, and the reality is damn all that. What does the tape say? And all I got to do is have you go back to last year's game with the Bears and the Lions and look at every Bear game and Lion game, and you tell me why you don't want him on this team. Like, I see y'all in the back, fellas. Don't go nowhere. I'm going to get y'all on. Just hold tight, because this show is about y'all for real, for real. But since y'all didn't want to come in, not saying y'all, but since people didn't want to come in yesterday and not speak the truth when I asked simple questions, I decided to just be Patty today and speak the truth. Because I'm sick of this. We keep creating fake narratives that don't amount to nothing.
No, the Lions got a better deal out of Montgomery than they would have out of Williams.
Right. Like, don't get me wrong. I like Williams. I get it. His I retweeted his goodbye. Like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He's still going to be the head leader of the village of the den, right? He's still going to be the king, the Kinkage, whatever, right? But I'll be damned if we gonna act like we just lost something serious. I'm not having it. In the words of M'Baku, I will not have it. I can't. Let me bring in another guest, man. You gonna hold tight for a minute, Ryder?
Yeah, I'm here.
Let me bring in my man Chris Wallace. What's going on, Chris?
Yo, how you doing, fam?
Man, listen, talk your talk. This is your time. I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on with people. They first, all of a sudden, everybody named mama wanted Jalen Carter. Now everybody named mama want to skip the tape. They want to skip the combine. It's about the pro day, and he got character concerns. What character concerns? Who ain't speed? I just sped to get home today. What we talking about? What are we talking
Right.
about?
That's everyday Detroit stuff, man. Come on now. But no, I actually wanted to chime in on yesterday's, or was it the day before yesterday's show? I know I just watched it,
Okay.
but so I felt like as far as that conversation went, we
Well, hold on.
did
Let me refresh everybody in case they didn't see it. I asked two questions. Really, it was
right,
three, but I asked two questions. The first question was, what did we upgrade? That's the first one, right? And then the
right.
second question that I asked was, put a grade on it. Are you okay with this? Are you happy with what they did in free agency? That's what he's talking about. Go ahead.
Okay. So to allude to that, I give it a C plus at best.
Okay.
Did
Now
we?
you got to say why though. You can't because
Okay.
they gonna
So
jump on you. They gonna
all
if you
right.
don't give them
So
a
the
right.
reason why I give it a C plus is because I'm not downplaying the moves that they did. I actually liked it because we upgraded in depth. Because people still fail to realize we got the draft. We can add another corner. We got better than what we had than what we have. Like our cornerback room still can get better, and to upgrade. But we added somebody, a couple people that's actually like, cause Mosley, dude, man, if he get back off that injury and he play like how he was, played like, that's gonna be an upgrade because we got people like dogs. And when people say they want dogs, they don't understand that them ain't always superstar players. You know what I'm saying? Like we found out, through our draft class, a couple people that nobody was expecting. James Houston, um, you know, dog ain't gonna be a superstar, bro. All you need is, the opportunity to do what he doing. But, it's not nothing to be like, oh yeah, we going to the Super Bowl. No. You know what I'm saying? So all in all, I give it a C plus, and we did upgrade better than what we got. Now Akuda has a choice if we retain him. You know what I'm saying? They go to fire. It's up under your ass. You either gonna fall down the draft board, or you gonna rise to the occasion and be what you know what I'm saying, got drafted to be. So we'll see about that. The Montgomery pick up, I love it. I love Jamal Williams. You know what I'm saying? Probably one of the best Lions that I've watched, just, character wise and leadership wise. Like, you know what I'm saying? He gonna be in my Lions Hall of Fame, period. But we got a way better running back. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was making the short and tough runs and stuff. Montgomery can do the same thing and more. He can catch out of the backfield. You know what I'm saying? He is an excellent blocker. You know what I'm saying? He's a bruiser. And if I'm not mistaken, probably a little bit faster than Jamal. So, if it meshed well, we'll see. Because we still got to worry about this old line. So
Listen, hey, I appreciate you for coming through. I got people in. If you want to hang around, just mute your mic. I'm gonna bring in the next guest
oh
and,
yeah,
and
for sure.
keep it going, man. But I don't get it. I don't. All the talk of that people acting like we come on. I got people asking me, did you kill somebody, Luke? I killed time. That's what I killed. I killed time. That's what I did. Like, I
I
don't want
feel
to
it.
hear. I don't want to hear this. The dude was speeding, bro. Like people killed me. Like
Yeah, and to that point, man, look how many people that had troubles that was even worse than that. And you know what I'm saying? Look at Deshaun Watson. Nobody gave a shit.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, come on, people acting like, bro. Until you ever been in that situation, and I have, where
Right.
you're having to deal with a courtroom, man, miss me with that. We're not
Yeah.
perfect. All these
Nobody is.
angels, man. I don't
And
get it,
it's not
man.
like he, you know what I'm saying, like Ruggs, the one guy off the Raiders, like he actually, you know what I'm saying, caused the fatality and whatever. But it's like
Man, they've
this,
had people in the NFL who have drunk drive and killed people, but we're not talking about them. Chris,
right,
hold on. I'm gonna put you in the background real quick, bro, and then I'm gonna bring in my next guest. Just hang in the back. You can still hear us, but we won't be able to hear you. So just hold tight. I'm gonna bring us all in at once at one point. Okay.
for sure, for
All
sure.
right. My next guest that came up is Miko from over there from Questionable Podcast, out there with the nice tee on and everything. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man?
Man,
Been a
listen,
minute.
I know that they hitting all the right nerves, man. I sat up there and read every freaking message on Twitter, on YouTube videos, on media articles. What the hell is wrong with people, bro?
All right, so let's start with Jalen Carter, right?
Okay, talk to
And
me.
I'm with you to an extent, right? Because it's if it's not as bad, like the things that he was being accused of early, right?
Okay, did I lose somebody? Yo,
Luke, can you hear me?
I hear you now. There you go. Okay, I lost you
Okay,
for me. All
no, you
right.
good. No, but I was just saying that like the way this started out with people running with some of the craziest accusations about him, like we're now finding out that it wasn't as bad as people were making it out to be. He never fled the scene. He was never intoxicated. The worst thing that he basically is being accused of at this point is the speeding and is probably lying to the police initially.
At best it was that he was speeding and he was. I'm like, man, and this like I got this comment on the screen because this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. We downplaying someone dying. Did he kill him? He didn't kill him. I don't remember seeing anything or any information related to him being the result of their deaths. Nobody's
Right.
downplaying people passing away. Nobody's downplaying that.
Right.
Who's doing
No,
that? But what we're doing is we're associating that car crash to him.
right.
Come on now.
Nah, and that's the part, like I said, that's the part for me where I think like we're getting it. There is a difference between speeding and racing though. Like we gotta be real. There's a difference between speeding and racing.
That's fine.
Speeding, yes, everybody speeds, right? Not everybody out here racing though at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like that's some immature stuff. And I talked about this on our podcast a couple weeks ago. Like I'm guilty of that. When I was in high school, we did dumb stuff like that.
Yes,
Now-
we did.
Now, but I was in high school, right? I also didn't have millions of dollars attached to my name. So I'm not going to downplay, like, I'm going to say we can't downplay the immaturity of it, of somebody that you're about to give millions of dollars to. Because, like, the other dude that was just on here saying, Henry Ruggs got paid and was still out.
You going out on me now. Come on, Miko. You said Henry Ruggs got paid and what happened? Miko, Mike going out on me. No, he was just getting ready to cook.
My bad.
There you go. Okay.
No, I was saying Henry Ruggs got paid and he still kept driving and kept being reckless. And this is kind of like, so you can't discount the pattern of behavior. Like, but that's what you do these interviews for. So for people to just be like, oh, well, he's reckless or he's immature, so we got to cut ties. Like, no, this is why you do due diligence. This is why you dig deeper to be able to determine, is this a mistake or is this a pattern of behavior? And if it comes out to be a pattern of behavior, well, yes, as a GM, as an owner, I'm not about to trust you with my franchise or with millions of dollars, and I can't trust you to be back in the house by 11 o'clock, or I can't trust you to get behind the wheel of a vehicle and act like you got common sense.
But the reality is this. I'm not trying to downplay what's going on. I'm not trying to downplay it. I'm just making the point that these fans have wrote him off for a bad day. And this whole question about his character and stuff, man, please. I understand about the racing and stuff. I used to race. I used to be at them races. I'm telling you right now, I know it. Right? I used to do stupid stuff like light stuff on fire and firecrackers. We all have done something stupid. But what I can't stand is for those people who have done something stupid to throw rocks in glass houses and put their hand behind their back because he finna get this money. He didn't cause anyone to die. He simply had a race. The other car lost control. And it's unfortunate, but that's not what the problem is. Because let's say, for example, if he wasn't the one racing, but he was there and he left, they still would have found a way to make an issue out of it. This team needs talent. And before somebody say something like, oh, no, they don't, you really are downplaying, mess me with that. If he was a knucklehead, as Miko pointed out, if there were character concerns off rip, I can go, you know what? Don't take this guy. Stay away from him. This is not what you want. That's not what happened. That's not what we have. I don't like the narrative. I don't like how we big up other players and downgrade other players when they're not on the team. I don't get it. Not all of a sudden, Ellis Anzalone is a great signing. Come on now.
No, and like I said, I agree with you in the sense of like you obviously the Lions need talent. And that's why, like I'm saying, I'm willing to trust Brad Holmes. I'm trusting him to do his due diligence. And if Brad passes, that means something didn't pass the smell test. And we can sit here and we can cry and moan about it, but it's not our franchise. It's not our millions of dollars. It's not our reputation that's on the line. It's his. So I like I said, I agree with you to an extent. But this team isn't going to the playoffs or to the Super Bowl on the back of Jalen Carter alone. So it's like I said, like it's a toss up for me. But let me give you my thoughts on Jamal real quick, and then I'll let you get back to your show.
For sure. Go ahead.
Listen, man, I love Jamal just as much as everybody else do. We had the anime connection. Like it was dope to have a player here that had that type of love and passion for the city and for the team. But at the end of the day, this is straight business. And when an opportunity comes along to upgrade, you have to take that upgrade. And I think what this move should be doing is putting the team and the fans on notice that, like, hey, culture is important, but we ain't out here overlooking talent on every situation. Jamal checked all the culture boxes, but when it came down to an upgrade of talent, they were like, yeah, that's nice and all. This dude right here is better. And so I don't think we can like take certain situations to be like, well, Brad doesn't care about talent in some situations, but he does in others. No, Brad absolutely cares about talent. They have built their foundation. They have their coaches in place, ownership, GM, the right players in place. We're at a stage now where we can acquire talent. And I know that might sound like a contradiction to Jalen Carter, but again, that's a draft pick and you got to do your due diligence there.
Yeah, again, the echo y'all hearing is because I'm pretty sure Miko is on like a cell phone. That's why y'all is picking up the sound from there. But the reality is this. We are not in a position to just let good talent go by you. Because if you're not taking Jalen Carter at 6, who in the hell are you taking? Seriously, who are you taking? You want to tell me, I want to take this and I want to take who's going to have more impact than him and B. John Robinson day one? Because it ain't a cornerback. I can tell you that right now. It ain't a corner. Now, when I was screaming for a secondary player for 2 past seasons, I was told to shut the hell up. Now we want corners. Stop it. That's all I'm saying. Appreciate you for coming through, Miko. Let me get somebody else in the building, bro. I just can't do it. Ghost Gunner is up next. What are your thoughts, man? People is really uptight about this. You can't draft him now. He's undraftable. They got every moral reason why. Like, for example, let me read this comment. I wanted Carter so bad, but it's not the car accident. It's the discipline. He has none. And I'm not interested in a player who can't control himself. That translates to football.
The guy who's being accused of potentially killing his former teammate, you don't think he's stressing out about that?
Right.
Can you imagine what's going? You do imagine he's like what, like 20, young 20-year-old. You imagine what's going in that kid's mind. You don't think that's gonna send him in the kitchen and to eat his feelings a little bit, and he gains a couple pounds?
Why is that a bad thing? I'm not trying to be funny, right? Why is that a bad thing? We like big defensive tackles. I watched Vincent Wilford. I watched Tony Saragusa. I watched Jordan Davis, and I know Jordan Davis lost weight. He still was big as shit. Why is this a bad thing now? Everybody think you finna get a damn Aaron Donald. That goddamn head coach from Penn State right, because he got everybody thinking you could come in undersized and get the job done. They're not working out and putting up the weights like Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald looks like a goddamn strongman competition participant.
He looked like a strongman winner.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, come on, man. But meanwhile, I gotta get hyped up over a cornerback coming off an ACL injury and how great he is. and I gotta hear all these unsecured BS stats that they pulling out the wind to try to make themselves feel better about a guy who literally coming off an ACL injury. Which, by the way, in case you weren't paying attention, it's mighty funny how we keep adding people to this team with ACL injuries. But I can't say nothing bad about Brad Holmes. It's mighty funny how we keep on adding quality pieces to the offense under Brad Holmes and scraps to the defense. But I can't say nothing about Brad Holmes. And then as soon as everything hit the fan, y'all gonna be talking about fire Aaron Glenn, fire Dan Campbell. Man, stop this noise. Y'all are being ridiculous. You're being ridiculous. Coming up with these obscure ass numbers for people that nobody was talking about. Go ahead, Gunner. I'm gonna let you finish.
But yeah, David Montgomery 100% is an upgrade over Jamal Williams. Like that shouldn't be a question. Like they gave him a. They're really straightforward at the deadline. They say, hey, we don't want to be left for scraps in free agency when it comes to running back. But he wanted to test the market. He did, but they didn't wait. It's that simple.
It's fair. Steve says, how come we're acting like it's guaranteed that Carter's going to be there at 6? I think there's only one team that stands in their way, and that's the Seattle Seahawks. I don't believe for one bit that the Cardinals are taking them. The Cardinals are going to go with a pass rusher. You know, I think you got quarterback, pass rusher, then quarterback. Then at that point, you got Seattle, who could go quarterback, who could just go Jalen Carter. But if he's there, I'm definitely not for this. Oh, don't take him because you know what? He likes the street race. Half the players on our team do it. Y'all think they don't, but they do.
6 is such an awkward spot for us to be picking, in a way.
It's perfect in my opinion. Just saying, it's perfect in my opinion. Like I said, I'm tired of the false narrative. I'm tired of let me tell you, when this cornerback we took, man, he's a steal. Not a single Lion fan talked about this person. Not a single one. But when he became a Lion, he was the second coming of Deion Sanders, and I'm sick of it.
Who, Mosley?
Yeah, I'm sick of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason he only got $6 million.
I mean, but we keep on taking people. This is another thing that's killing me. If all it costs was $12 million for him at the Saints, and we're going to give 2 more for David Montgomery, newsflash, the man wasn't asking for $4 million a season. He had just got almost that this past freaking 2 seasons. He wasn't asking for it. I told y'all what was going to happen. I said, listen, he's going to show up to the negotiation table and say, hey, he just broke y'all greatest running back touchdown record. And when they didn't pay, he saw that the rest of the teams in the NFL wasn't finna pay neither. So he went with the highest bidder, which were the Saints. The same way people was like, oh, we could have traded a 3rd-round pick for Jalen Ramsey. He didn't want to come here. And they wasn't asking for a 3rd from the Lions. Why would they? When the Lions got 2 seconds, 2 firsts. Come on. I'm just tired of the stupid stuff. That's all. You got anything else, Gunner, before I start bringing in some more people?
Oh yeah, Graham Glasgow is just a replacement for Evan Brown. I don't understand the cut big V talk for Graham Glasgow. That makes no sense to me. He's getting paid to be a backup. That is what he is.
I'll be surprised if he ends up even being just that. But hey, appreciate you for coming through, Gunner, man. Let me get it to more people. People want to talk today. I'm happy about it. The link is in the description. Free to come in and talk your shit. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I lost my mind. Shout out to my mans over here. The bottom line view. Lions having a solid offseason so far. I put it this way. I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked everybody else. What did we upgrade? Like realistically, what do we upgrade? Because to me, I'm not finna sit here and give out these strong accolades until I see a person take a snap. I'm not doing it. I've been tricked before. I've been tricked before, and I'm not doing it. You will earn my respect going forward. I told people this. I don't care what we do in the draft. It's a C. You're gonna earn my respect. So solid off season. I mean, Mitch, you think Sutton's a number 1 corner? I haven't found the person yet who can tell me that.
He's better than who we have.
Who we have?
Oh, that's an upgrade.
That guy. Hold on, wait. I'm just saying. But the guy that I told everybody was a safety. That I got told I ain't know what the fuck I was talking about? That guy? Oh, okay. All right. I just thought I put it out there. All right. Let me bring in my next guest, Gunner. I appreciate you. All right. Next up in this mud is my man Greasy. Greasy, what you got for people? Talk to him.
Why everybody complaining? I should be happy that Aaron Rodgers is gone. We're gonna win the North.
Listen, I don't think I care if Aaron Rodgers is in this division or not. You have to take care of your business, right? And so my attitude to it is like this. You never heard a real fighter like Mike Tyson or Ali talk about, "Ooh, I'm so glad this person ain't boxing no more." They talk about how they beat your ass out of the boxing arena and you don't want to box no more.
Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson to the Lions, they can't do that, bro.
Nah, but my point I'm trying to make to you is greatness does not care who's in front of it. Greatness says, you know what? I'm better than you. I don't care who you got on your other side. But think about it. You think Barry Sanders went, whoo, so glad that they ain't got the Buccaneers wasn't in our division no more. Come on, bro. He didn't care.
No,
he had a job to do. You know? I'm with the greatness part of it. What else you got for us, man?
And why everybody crying about Jamal, man? I mean, he was
I
cool.
don't get it, bro. I don't get it.
I love his shit, bro. You know what I mean? Y'all complaining about what? 16, 17 1-yard touchdowns?
Bro. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. I just he was literally the definition of a tail. Like, you know how you play poker, they be wearing sunglasses and all type of stuff to distract you from getting the tail. He was the 100% tail. When he came in, we were running the ball. And people knew it. I'm just saying, like, come on, man. What else you got, man? I want to make sure I get everybody. We got people in the back waiting patiently. I appreciate y'all waiting in the back patiently for me.
I know. But we is going to be kings of the North.
Hey, I hear that, man. You put the glasses on to make sure you let the people know. All right, I'm going to put you in the back, man. Hold tight. I'm going to bring everybody in once I get everybody their time to shine, all right?
Go.
All right. Next up, we have my man Greg Charlie in the building. What's going on, brother?
What up, Luke? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. I can hear you. What you
man,
got for
long
us,
time
man?
no see.
I know.
So,
listen, I've been trying my best to do this more often, but hey, I got to still work. I got kids and a wife and all the good stuff, you know. So
I hear you, same shit. But this is what I was about to say, man. Like, so I work with a guy, right? Stay out in Bloomfield Hills.
Okay.
Back in 2014, he said about twice a month, he would see Ndamukong Suh pulled over by the police for speeding all the time. Now, I don't know how many tickets you got to have to get your license removed, but whatever the amount of number is, they let Ndamukong Suh slide on that because he stayed getting pulled over. I'm not going to say what kind of car he was in, but I'll just say it was a fast car with it was an SUV with a fast engine in it that they only build in Detroit. That's what I'll leave it at. And he said he would always get caught speeding, flying, doing about 10, 20 over the speed limit. Were they picking on him, my point is, do they really care? You know what I mean? Like, is it that big of a deal? I know the instance with Jalen Carter is a little bit different because somebody died, but he didn't commit the actual the other car lost control. You know what I mean? It's not like he hit the car and the car lost control. So it's what are we talking about?
That's my point. Like, everybody, you saw the messages, bro. Oh, you want to downplay somebody died. He didn't cause him to die.
Yeah.
Like, if me and you get into a race, let's say me and you decide to race, we're gonna race by foot, right? We're gonna have a foot race. We want to see who the fastest runner between me and you. If you trip and fall and break your neck, what did I do wrong?
Nothing.
Now, my attitude is this. I argue this to people because I've seen it happen many times. People in stressful situations do not react the way that they think they will. I have literally been shot at in my life, and my thought was I would take off and run first. I froze. Okay? So I know for a fact that the way what you think you would do when you're in a non-stress situation is totally different. Totally different. And at the end of the day, it was nothing he could have did to help anyway, based on from what I'm reading in terms of the details of that crash. They lost control of the car trying to beat him. Inexperience, and it happens. People do stuff all the time. They just had a guy. In Texas kill himself by trying to steal a Cadillac converter, and the jack fell and then landed on him and crushed him. Like he wasn't planning on it. You know what I mean? He think he
Yeah.
can steal a Cadillac converter. And I'm not downplaying somebody dying. I'm not doing that. But at the end of the day, I don't get it. And I understand he left the scene. I get it.
Because what else is a 22-year-old who never dealt with nothing
What is
like
he
that?
gonna do?
I mean, like, what else is he gonna do? You know what I mean? And I'm not. I think you know. And they already getting punished. I mean, look, they gave him a year of probation and all this other stuff. Like, I done got speeding tickets before. I ain't never had to go on probation because I was speeding.
And they're
you know what I
gonna
mean?
argue to you. I'm just for the record, Greg. They're gonna argue to you that you know, did nobody die when you was doing it?
But he wasn't the cause of the death. His only crime was speeding and reckless driving.
That's it.
So I mean, the last thing I just gotta ask you, Lamar Jackson. You not on board? Yay or nay? What's up?
I'm nay. I'm nay because at this point, at this point, I'm tired of hearing Lions fans talk about the cap is the issue for like the last 3 seasons. I don't know how in the hell our cap has been the issue for the last 3 seasons. Meanwhile, we keep signing back these little small shitty ass deals like Will Harris and Ellis Anzalone.
Oh my God!
But we gonna skip over that.
All you do is, but see, this is the thing. If you front load his contract, think about it. All our best players, we ain't got to pay them for another 2 or 3 years. This is the perfect time to bring on a big contract. You're not paying nobody else. You're not gonna have to pay Hutch. You're not gonna have to pay Penei Sewell. You don't got to pay St. Brown, Jameson. You don't have, all of our best players. You don't even got to pay them. So why not give Lamar Jackson all of his money on the front end? And as his contract progresses in year 3, 4, 5, his money will be less. The cap hit will be less. That's how you do that. This is the perfect time to bring on a guy like Lamar Jackson. So,
well, I tell you this. I tell you this, man. My only thing with the Lamar Jackson is it's the same problem I had with a former teammate of his and Deshaun Elliott. I said, I'm tired of us drafting and adding all these hurt-ass players. And apparently, it seems like all you need is an ACL injury. So just FYI, to the people out there who want to be a Detroit Lion, go and blow a fucking knee out and Brad Holmes will bring you in. That's all
I think Lamar Jackson a little bit different from everybody else.
I get what you're saying, but my point I'm trying to make to it is we're trying to find people who are going to come in healthy and stay on the field. That's what I want. I want a consistent, healthy person, and for that reason, nobody's been a bigger advocate for DeAndre Swift than I have. But at some point, I had to say, you know what, he's just not staying healthy. And would you hear me say, hey, we got a prime opportunity at 6 to take Bijan Robinson, take a quarterback.
I love Bijan Robinson, but I think he might fall to 18 just simply because he's
I don't think
back.
so. Listen. I think it's 3 players the Bears is looking at. If Jalen Carter get there, they're taking him hands down. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. But if he's not, I think they have narrowed their pick down to 2 people: Bijan Robinson and Murphy, the DN out of Clemson. I think that's the Bears' 2 picks. And if the Bears do that, then here we go. You know what I'm saying? Like my thing is you got to understand your positioning, right? Like. You need talent, right? But there's not a defensive player outside of Carter that you're going to take at 6 that's going to have immediate day 1 starter impact.
You don't like Tyree?
Man, hell no. No.
I mean, he got some pretty good film. He ain't no Will Anderson.
But he leans on people more than he worked them over.
Okay, wait. So watch this. No Jalen Carter, no Will Anderson. What do we do at 6?
Bijan Robinson. Because if I say quarterback, everybody their mother going to have a cow.
The quarterback's not going to be there. If it's not Bryce Young, I don't want a quarterback.
But I take Hendon Hooker.
At 6?
I sure would.
Oh, hell no.
I'm just saying, Greg.
You said that last week.
We had no problem taking a receiver to let him sit. We the only team that I can think of in the last 15 years to draft a receiver to sit behind people.
You know what? The thing about Hendon Hooker is I think it's a reason why guys stay in college as long as they do. This happens in basketball and football. It never works. If you've been in college for as long as you've been in college and you weren't good enough to come out, now you don't have no other choice but to come out. I mean, I don't think it's gonna work. I don't see Hendon Hooker working.
Listen, that's fair. That's a fair argument, which is why I went back to the next logical thing. I'm here to make people think. Who are we going to get that's going to have day 1 starter impact? It's not a cornerback. I'll tell you that right now.
I mean, I don't listen. I don't agree with the cornerback thing, but I think Christian Gonzalez is the only other day one starter that's going to be right there. If Bryce is gone, Will Anderson is gone, Carter is gone.
You ever watch Steve Smith's YouTube channel? He got.
I haven't.
Okay, so Steve Smith, because this is another thing I thought it was so funny because people say that Luke don't watch film because he used broadcast film, but even though that broadcast film was literally recorded from a camera, which then is turned into film, but that's another story. We're gonna leave that alone. Steve Smith literally talks about all these people, and he talks about Gonzalez and what he pointed out about Gonzalez. And let me see if I can get back to his channel in case y'all are not sure what I'm talking about. What he pointed out about Gonzalez is exactly what I saw. It's a person who at times is so cocky that he has the athletic ability to do things that he does not do it and do it at a high level. And that irritates my soul to high fucking heaven. It gets on my nerves because it's like, yo, bro, at the end of the day, I need you to play like you are the man. So for the people who don't know what I'm talking about, you want to see some entertaining stuff. You want to see some stuff that's going to be just this is where it's at right here. This is how this dude, I love when Steve Smith talk. And he's going through people by person, right? So when you come here and you want to see what's popping, you're going to see him talking about everybody, right? You're going to see him talking about Joey Porter Jr. You're going to see him talking about Zay Flowers. You're going to see him talking about the different teams and stuff like that, right? And he's having these conversations about the different stuff. And he's breaking it down. He's talking about your favorite receivers right here, right? He's talking about the impact of Frank Wright and all this other stuff, right? Like he's telling you this stuff. And right here, as you can see, I watched the Christian Gonzalez and stuff. I usually reset all this stuff because I hate for it to stay in my history. But like here, this is the channel. So if you want to see it, Steve Smith Sr. cut to it, go subscribe. Go subscribe.
Check it out.
And when you check it out, listen to what he's saying because he's going to show you in real time and he's going to tell you like, look, this is what he's picking up. That's all I wanted you to see, man.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out.
All right. He says, is there a Jalen Carter video here? He said that he's got one on the way, but he wanted the young man to handle his legal issues, is what Steve Smith said. So it's coming. So just putting it out there. All right, man. Appreciate you, man. I'm gonna get somebody else up in the building, man. You know, I always love when people come through and talk to me.
No doubt.
But if it was me, just FYI, my number one cornerback is Joey Porter Jr.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Did you like who you like better, him or Porter
Joey
or
Porter
Gonzalez?
Jr. Joey Porter Jr. I like better than him. I like Forrest more than him. And
so why not take him at 6?
Take Forbes?
No, Porter Jr.
Because I don't believe that none of these cornerbacks are worthy of me taking them at 6.
Yeah,
not when I listen. You got to ask yourself, what is it going to be easier for you to find? A cornerback at 18 or a stud generational running back at 6? You're not going to find that stud generational running back at 18, right? You might be able to find one in the second. You might be able to find one in the third. You might. And yes, I know we got them, but we're going to run 3 running backs anyway. It ain't the first time, people. Y'all act like we didn't run Craig Reynolds.
If Brad Holmes do Bijan Robinson at 6, I'm not even gonna be mad at it.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna be mad at it.
Okay. And that's just what it is. And shout out to Steve who says Steve Smith is my favorite talent evaluator on YouTube. He is not afraid to tell what he sees. That's me. I try to tell what I see, but people be acting like I'm the devil. Just putting it out there, man. Greg, appreciate you for coming through, man. I got a few more people to hit. If you want to come in and talk your ish, this is your time to do it. Appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Yep. All right. My next person up I have on the building is Lions Rumble. I got you in the back, gentlemen. Y'all coming up. I'm just doing it in the order y'all came in. I got you. Lions Rumble 81. What's going on, brother?
Man, what's popping, man?
Listen,
what's popping, man?
Hey, what can I say, man? I'm doing the best that I can. I'm trying my best to be cool. But, I asked questions yesterday to the people so they can basically control the show, and I was called a hater. Now I just said, F it. I'm going to tell you like it is. This man has not done anything to address the weakest part of this team, and we on year 3 of this crap. We keep on getting meh scraps to the damn defense and good pieces to the damn offense. Why?
Yeah, man. I think last year was, more so them trying to get weapons for JG. I think this year with the addition of Dre Bly and, with the emergence of the defense last year, how they kind of, those last 10 games, they kind of, for whatever reason, man, a switch clicked, and Aaron Glenn was getting some of the best football out of these guys. I think they finally started believing each other.
But you know what happened though, realistically though, and I know the Lions fans ain't gonna like what I'm about to say, but it's the reality. Our schedule got easier down that stretch.
Yeah, it did. Albeit, but it's always good to beat.
All the way up until we got to the Panthers, and they put that 261 on us, or 241,
Yeah,
whatever that was in the first half, rushing.
man. Yeah, it did get easier. But it's always good to end on a note that they did, which is a winning Green Bay. You know what I mean? That was we kind of closed that chapter of Aaron Rodgers, and it couldn't have happened to a much more fitting team than these guys. These guys are the perfect mixture of youth and veterans. The coaches. Because we the fans, we know how important those wins are in Lambeau. Especially for Detroit,
right?
Because they were always giving it to us, even no matter how close the games were. It seemed like he was always a player two. He always had a player or two in the bank that ended up breaking our hearts. So, but I wanted to give you a shout out because if somebody somebody's saying that I don't think there's anybody that I know who's a more advocate for life than you. You start your show out with the suicide helpline. So this whole talk about with Jalen Carter about the issue about the young man dying. I mean, you're an advocate for life.
This is what I went off on this earlier, because people are pushing out fake narratives that don't line up to the facts. All of a sudden now, I'm downplaying and don't care about the life of a person that's been lost. No, I'm talking about the person who I can still say, you know what, I hate that the young man lost his life, and the young lady who's in the car who was supposed to be there helping him through this process. But this idea that, it's a friend. I don't know that man had a relationship with him. They was using him to recruit people. People don't know all the charitable stuff that Jalen Carter was doing. Jalen Carter was getting NIL deals and was feeding players who didn't have help to play on the football team. Like, come on, man. And I'm not saying that you can't overlook that, but I'm just making the point that, like, come on, y'all acting like that we gotta disregard this guy for something that never occurred. He didn't cause it though, so he fled the scene. A lot of people do. But that's not enough for you to go to jail. That's not enough for you to lose your livelihood. It's just not.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I think it's because the players who, kind of got into the same issues like that before him, which is why these things are getting such, they're getting so strict with this stuff, man. Like Henry Ruggs, another young kid who had no business driving, ultimately, murdered somebody. They consider that, it's a lethal weapon when you're driving drunk, the car. So I think we got to watch how this plays out. From all talks, he's gained 9 pounds. I mean, who wouldn't? You're stressed out. You don't know if you're looking at jail time, or if you're gonna play the game that you love.
What? How old is he? He 20 what?
Right.
He 20 what? 9 pounds. Yeah. Gaining 9 pounds is like a woman coming on her period gaining 2. It'll be gone. It's not that damn hard, people. Relax.
Right.
Relax. Oh, he came in out of shape. Between now and the game day, you think he ain't going? Come on, man.
Right.
Come on.
But I'm so juiced. I'm so juiced for this. I don't know, man. It seems like Detroit's a destination now. I don't know how to take this free agent season right here. I don't know, man. It's starting to look good, man. I think we're going to be shocked again this year with the trades that they make. Of course, we lost Hawkinson last year.
Listen,
I think Okuda and Swift. I think those guys could very well be.
Just move Okuda to safety. Can we stop with this experiment shit at the corner? Just move him to safety. You want to see a guy have his greatest season ever? Put him at safety.
I don't know, man.
His best games came with him playing in a hybrid position, almost like a safety in the box. Put him at safety.
or you can trade him and get something else for him.
Man, listen. You trading him ain't gonna get you as much as you would get by making him a safety. That's all I'm saying. Let me answer this question really quick from Looney Tune. Luke, how you feel about John Fox coming in as a defensive assistant? I want all the help we can get for this team because I can tell you right now, looking at what our general manager is doing right now for the defense in terms of free agency, I'm not impressed. This is the playbook. Go to every season, right? You can name me the one player in the draft and in free agency that he brought in to really help this team on offense. You can always name those people. Whether they was hurt or not, you can always name them. Right? But you can't tell me who were the guys that they brought in that you was like, yeah, they're mainstays. Seriously, the only guy they brought in that's still on this damn team for free agency is Alex Anzalone. And all of us agree he should not be here. Although there's a certain fan base who now all of a sudden seems to think that he's the second coming of Ray Lewis.
No, I think he's just he's just a stand-up guy at that position. I think that the coaches trust him for the time being, and I think he's able to get everyone in that defense to on the same page or get them to where they need to be. I think they trust him, and sometimes that's hard to find. That's hard to find as a team. That's hard to find players who your entire unit listens to. It's like having a mini coach out there for him. I think that's what it is. We know he's not the fastest. We know he's not he's not the most athletic, but I think sometimes he might be that voice that tells those guys, "Hey, we got this. Hey, it's got to be something along those lines." Because I was shocked they brought him back. I was like, okay, again, like, okay, cool. So I think him and Aaron Glenn, you build that rapport. I think it's just so important, especially for Aaron Glenn. Like, he's still kind of wet behind the ears himself. So I think that's the reason why they brought in John Fox to kind of help him fill in those gaps of uncertainty that he may have. Or it's hard, man. It's hard actually coming up with a game plan and actually implementing it, But we still have some players we don't know how much tread is left on the tire of, Chase Lucas. We drafted him last year, so it's like,
bro,
I'm okay with
all
these.
I know is to date, in the last 2 years under Brad Holmes, the biggest defensive player he's brought in is Aiden Hutchins. And we were picking second overall.
I know. It's
wake me up when I'm lying.
No, you're right. But he also brought in some sleepers too, and those guys should be back this year fully healthy. Fully ready for training camp. So again, I think we're still waiting to see what the defense is going to look like fully healthy. But I'm 100% with you that he's gonna use this draft to address those needs on defense.
I'm cool with it. Kobe says, Luke, you don't think we should trade up for Will Anderson? No. The hell? Why? Listen. This is not me being like a-hole-ish or anything. The Lions still have major holes on defense. And I would rather have two guys who can help plug them problems versus one. No, we're not a player away. You're not in a position to trade up. Trade up with who? To do what? Let's just say hypothetically. We just sit there. Everything we want gonna fall to us. Why are you trading up? Will Anderson can fall to you. Jalen Carter can fall to you. A quarterback can fall to you. A cornerback can fall to you. The running back can fall to you. You're picking sixth, and most of the teams in the top 5 are taking quarterbacks. What are you trading up for? No, absolutely not. I'm not trading up for no damn DN. I like James Houston. I think he should be the answer. Sorry, not sorry.
The problem.
We're finally not overpaying free agents. Detroit isn't a landing spot for top tier free agents. Not yet, at least. It's coming. I'm okay with you not overpaying these free agents. I'm okay with it. But you can't tell me we didn't overpay free agents and I look at Ellis Ancelone's deal. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me we didn't overpay Bugs. You can't tell me you brought back Will Harris and gave him a fully guaranteed contract. I don't care how little it is. It's fully guaranteed. You brought this man back. For what? For what? I don't even want him touching the Gatorade. I think his ass gonna rub off the stink. I don't even want to the Gatorade for what? I get it, but I can't do it. He was solid doing the win streak because we were getting healthy while everybody else was getting hurt, and we had a weak schedule. And then what happened? One of the worst teams decided, you know what? You know how we're gonna be. We're gonna run that damn thing. It's like I cannot. They are better today than they were at the end of the season. Says who? Not saying that you're wrong, but I want to know why. Really, don't tell me about the offense. Tell me about the defense, because the weakest part of this team is still the defense. And what did they do to make you feel that we increased the defense's ability? I don't see it. I don't understand what you expect him to bring in on defense, considering he spends 80% of Detroit's draft picks on defensive players. Okay, let's talk about those defensive players that he spends those draft picks on. One of those were a top pick, which was Aiden Hutchinson when you picked second overall. The other one was a guy with a back issue you knew had, and he looking like he's not going to play no more, and leave out Anzarike. And the other guy in Pascal, who came off a long, lengthy health issue history, you brought him in. Who are these people they bringing in? They ain't game changers. All the love for Emrod. He's okay at best. Okay. Very replaceable.
Man, yeah, I think I think this year those 5 picks 4 of them got to be defense. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm sorry. I don't care about we have too many draft picks who are just like you said, meh. Like Okuda. Even if you have him go back to safety, where are you gonna put Joseph at? Where are you gonna put Joseph?
Kirby, listen now. Easy says Kirby is the shit. He's Tracy Walker 2.0. Rumble, let me bring in some more guests. I'm bringing in my man Crimson Shadow. I'm gonna bring him in. Then I got you next, John. All right. Just hold tight for me, Rumble. Just mute your mic. I'm gonna bring in Crimson. Crimson, what you got for the people? I want to try to get to John really quickly. I can bring everybody in. We can cross talk.
Oh yeah, definitely. Long wait there. Man, you're making freaking Emrod sound like the lacrosse player we drafted all those years ago.
Emrod would not have started on any other team.
I would happily disagree because there's.
I've asked this question repeatedly to name me the teams that when the season started that he would have been a day one starter on. Nobody
Giants
can.
Cardinals.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close.
My God. Yes.
Whose spot he taking? Whose spot he taking on the Giants and Cardinals when the season started? I'll wait.
Jared Davis now. Oh, we're talking the Cardinals.
Oh, wait, hold on, wait. You think he would have took Jared Davis' spot?
Yes, he already did. He already did once. He'll do it again.
The same Jared Davis who just got another contract with the Giants. He would have took his spot.
Yes, easily. Fucking hell no.
Oh my God. Okay.
That's easy.
Go ahead. I strongly with a sober mind, body, and spirit disagree. He was not a day one starter on none of them teams. Not a single one of them teams. You go through all 31 teams, and he's not a day one starter. That's cap. Now that y'all just lying at that point.
And Tavai somehow is a starter over in the Patriots. Okay.
What you got from me? What else?
But anyways, yeah, I was definitely with you when it came to the Jamal deal. Look, he gambled. Him and his agent gambled, and they fucked around and found out. They were probably going to get the same deal as they were going to get the same deal as Montgomery. You gambled and lost, man. I'm sorry. I love you, man, but Montgomery is an upgrade. The only concern I really have is you have 2 running backs that are very similar. You don't really have a power back, but Montgomery does everything that Jamal does and a bit better. He's not really the type that's going to, drag 2 or 3 guys in the red zone, but he's a very good, he can catch. He is swift. I'd almost argue he's almost better than Swift almost, but we'll see this season. Do you agree with that?
Do I agree with that David Montgomery's better than Swift?
I'm meaning, do you agree with that take that he's a better Jamal? He's just better at everything.
Yeah, I think David Montgomery is just a better back. I'm okay with David Montgomery. I'm used to the Lions adding quality pieces to the offense. I'm just waiting on us to get some on defense. And while everybody else is all hyped up over these meh players, we're going to see how they have that same energy when the same shit keep happening. Like I told them that, hey, we lost a lot of games because people were throwing the ball deep. And guess what? We lost a lot of games because people were throwing the ball deep. And in fact, You look at the first 6 games that everybody want to toss out. We toss out the first half of the season. Well, can't do that. The Seattle Seahawks were one of those teams that pushed you out the playoffs because you gave up 48 when you scored 45. But go ahead. I digress.
Well, we'll see what they do in the draft. Let's try to judge it as a whole. And if they do some goofy stuff in the draft, then I'm going to be like, oh, screw me. But like I said, it's going to be an interesting draft coming up. I don't think Carter's coming to us at 6 because it's the Seahawks. The Seahawks are the ones that really scare me in this case. They don't give a crap about freaking personality problems. They've had some characters come through in Seattle. They don't give a crap in that regard. And on top of that, I couldn't give a shit less about this whole issue with driving. Oh, please. You want to get back on Joe Mixon and all the crap that was going on with him? Is anybody talking about the crap that happened with Joe Mixon? Is anybody talking about the crap with Tunsil and the freaking gas mask? Shoot. I mean, there isn't even that many red flags. Like, say, a Reuben Foster. There was a million red flags with him, but every Detroit Lions player wanted him. And they're both bust. So, I brought up Reuben Foster. I remember that shit. So
I'll just put it out there.
My granddad used to drag race. You know what he used to do? I went through his stuff and I found a road spike. And I'm like, Granddad, what is this? Oh, when the cops used to chase me, grandson, I'd throw these out my window and pop their tires. I've heard
people do dumb stuff when they're young. It is what it is. 2 guys in the podcast says, Luke, you're like a weatherman. Wrong 80% of the time and still getting paid. That's a good one. I'm gonna give you that one. I'm gonna give you that one. That's a good one. However, I have been more right than people would like to admit, and I ain't mad at it either way it go. So I'm just putting it out there. I got somebody. I got a new face in there, Cranston. So let the new face come in, and then you come in next, John. I want to get the new people in too. So they have a moment. Like I said, I know people think I'm not being fair today, but we gonna make it happen. Give me a second. We're gonna bring in a new face. Dr. J is back in the building.
Yeah, what's going on?
See, Dr. J, I think the last time I saw you was last year, right before Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I believe it was. All right.
Sir.
All right, well, talk your talk, man. I'm good. Talk your talk. The floor is yours. I wanna give people a chance to, especially when you know.
No, well, I was really listening to the other day about not bringing back Jamal, and I listened to the press conference of the new running back Montgomery. I love what he's saying. I love what's going on with him. See, sometimes to me, when I'm looking at certain things, and when you bring people in, it's the attitude. This guy, to me, is such a complete back. Anybody could run. I could run behind the offensive line of the Lions, but when you have a certain demeanor and you know that this guy got it, he got it. And when you got a guy like that, he said he was salivating. That means that guy said, when I get a hold of this, I'm going. I see this guy a 1,000-yard runner every year easily. 12, 13, 14 touchdowns easily. So I agree. I see even the corners. Now, I used to be a corner, and I'm saying when y'all said to Sutton, he got it too. See, you got to have the ability to have the intelligence and the ability to time things and have athleticism. And when you look at it, when I looked at how he played the game and the receivers that was in that league, man, come on. You said he might not. I was listening. You said he all right, man. This guy is more than all right.
No. I didn't say he's all right. I'm happy with him.
Okay.
Listen. If you can go back and find old clips of me saying I wanted David Montgomery when he came out of college. So that wasn't me. I'm happy with him.
No. I said Sutton. I said the cornerback from.
Oh yes, man. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on. You can't listen. You can't even. Listen. I hate to even do this because everybody else is tossing out these frivolous stats. Then you can't even. If he's such a good cornerback, right? How come Madden won't even recognize him as one? He's like the third dude on Madden, right? If you want to be honest, I'm not trying to be funny. And again, my only thing that I said about Sutton is people are acting like we just picked up this amazing cornerback, but they said the same thing about Mike Hughes. They said the same thing about the slot cornerback we took from Seattle. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
I know what you're talking about.
Coleman. The same thing about Coleman, right? And so
that's true.
At the end of the day, I'm saying, listen, let's stop bigging these people up and let them prove themselves to us. Make them Make them go out and perform to earn our respect. And if they earn your respect, cool. But people are putting up these obscure stats to try to make it seem like Sutton was a hit in the lifeline. The Steelers, this is what I know about the Steelers, because I'm in a family that is Steeler fans. I'm the only oddball and get yelled at for it because I'm the only oddball out. But the Steelers don't let good defensive players go. They don't do it. They don't do it. When they defensive players leave, they are on the wrong side of prime.
Yep, that is. Now I gotta admit that is true. But when I looked at some of the clips of what he was doing, I watched some of the. He has that instinct and he's smart. Now saying he's the most athletic and the best corner, I'm not saying that. But I believe that's a upgrade from what we had. So my thing, are they gonna draft another corner? They should. But I liked also when you said they should have got to get. I don't know what they're gonna do with Swift, but man, there's a couple running backs in that draft I would love to have.
I mean, and I'm still on board with adding another running back because we're gonna run 3, and if Swift ain't up to par, then Swift out the door anyway. He's on the last part of his contract, and so you still want to have something that you can keep going for another 2 or 3 years. So I'm cool with taking a running back. I just don't like how we're downing a young guy for doing young guy shit that we all done. I don't like how we're big upping all the other.
That is true.
We big up in every player we get, and we downgrade every player who leaves. But now we crying over Jamal Williams, like, but he had 1,000 yards. 1,000 yards in 17 games is not hard, people. I'm sorry.
And I'm telling you from playing, I didn't see if Swift was able not to get hurt, he wouldn't even play. He's all right. I'm not saying I like his heart. You can't say nothing about his heart and leadership. That's A1. If I had him in my organization, running my organization or something with that kind of mannerism and passion, he'd be an awesome dude for speaking and everything else. But when you're looking at on the field, and he's not. Montgomery is like a foot and shoulder, man. They don't know what they got to hold to. After they see this boy run a few games, they gonna forget about Jamal, but they ain't gonna forget about the passion. Now you got to find somebody else that's in that locker room that has that kind of passion and fire. Like the man said, Montgomery said, I felt the passion and the power when I was on the other side of Chicago. That blew my mind. He said, I can feel it. I was looking over there, and them dudes was on another level. So I like what he was saying, but they got bugs. They got to have somebody else to step in that leadership role.
And the reality is this. You know, I don't like the fact that our leader on defense is Alex Anzalone. I don't all this.
You always
because listen, look, and this is
you need to get a blonde wig and get on there and show me what's wrong.
Listen, I'm just saying, like, listen. First of all, shout out to TA. He makes a very good point. Bro, our linebackers are not that good. I'm just keeping it. And I don't know why we're doing this. I don't know why we're doing it.
You're right about that, because I don't know why they don't draft a linebacker. I don't know what it is about what's going on. But, man, if they had a running linebacker, oh, my God. If they get the corners, they got to get a linebacker. They must see something we don't see. That's why they probably get paid in that position, because I don't see it either. I really don't.
So again, let me address a few comments, man. Just hold tight. Then I'm gonna let you finish your thought. Truth Teller says, Luke, who would you have added in this free agency that would have made you feel better about the defense? I would have added somebody who brought more impact at the middle of the field. I'd have did everything up the middle. So, for example, I would have added Levante David.
Yeah,
to be the inside linebacker. And then I would have added a London Flesher. I know they both owe. I know they both going to cost a little bit more money, but you spending a little scrag money anyway. We picking up scraps. We've been doing this for 3 years now, right? I would have added that. That would have instantly upgraded you. So now here's the other problem. You go out and get you go out and you get the most great. You can go have an Aaron Donald, right? That's how you get Aaron Donald, and Aaron Donald is your D tackle, right? Ain't nobody worried about those damn Alex Anzalone. Nobody's worried about him. And 9 times out of 10, when he goes and do his attack, he got a lot of tackles, but it ain't like he out there just so strong at the point of attack. No, they like him because he's a leader. They like him because he knows what's going on, and he can get people in position. I get it, but Levante David could have did that, right? You know what I'm saying? You could have got Bobby Wagner to do that. You could have went out and added some. You could have went on and added some depth at the linebacker position. You're just cool with the status quo. I don't think that you can come in with that defense that was bad that bad last year and tell me we can keep most of them players. How?
It's something that again that is seen in him that Brad Holmes liked. It has to be in.
It's his leadership.
Campbell.
It's his leadership. Listen, I went to a football game. Shout out to the Lions, man. I went to a football game. I'm sitting with Lions, man. We all watching the game. I was close enough to hear what was going on. And I'm telling you, he really was getting people lined up where people, because there was a few times where Hush didn't know where he was going. He got Hush in the right spot. I get it. But you cannot tell me we could not upgrade that guy. And that's all I'm pointing out. Now, Ben says Luke doesn't like Brad Holmes and he won't admit it. I don't like that we're going to keep neglecting the biggest problem on this team, which is defense. Our defense is going on. It's been bad for 5 years. This is not an exaggeration. This is not something I made up. You got 3 years of bad defense under Matt Patricia. This guy comes in. He's put all his attention and focus into the offense. You can't name me one single big player not named Aiden Hutchinson that was added to this defense. You can't. They don't exist.
And you do have a great point there. But it is something that's going on now. So now the draft come up. So I'm looking at just like he said he needed a backup quarterback. Everybody knew about it. Everybody knew we needed a good backup quarterback or draft one. Now he's just now saying, wow, I need one. I don't know how long it's going to take him to figure it out, but he's going to know that he's going to need a linebacker. Because you look at the tight ends that's in this league now and what they're running, you're going to need a linebacker.
Man, wait, just wait for it. Wait for it. The Lions fans going to turn on it. Watch. Let this team start losing a bunch of games, and the defense is still bad. They're going to turn on them. They're going to turn on them like rabid dogs, and it's going to be bad. So, like I said, I don't say stuff because I'm trying to be right in the moment. I say stuff because I foresee where it's going, and it bothers me. And so I say it, and I'm not doing it. I try to say things that I say, look, it's got to age well. Appreciate you for coming through, Doc, man. I'm always a pleasure to see you. Don't let it be so long next time. Don't do that. Don't do that to me. You know what I'm saying? I love seeing people because when they gone for a while, I start thinking negative. I be thinking, what the hell going on?
No, right? You're good. I like what you're saying. Just keep up the good work.
Appreciate you, bro.
Okay, see you.
You too. Let me bring my man John in the building. John, you've been patiently waiting. You up there playing the blue Game Boy. I think you was playing Pokemon. I think I saw the yellow cartridge in there. I
got something for you. Hold on. I got two things for you.
Okay.
Because I know you've been whooping your son's butt in Pokemon, so here it is. I don't know if you heard that.
I heard it. Listen, I got to tell you the truth, man. It's been a pleasure,
what was
man.
I talking about? Was it yesterday you were on or the day before?
I was talking about this day before, where I talked about the two questions.
It was day before.
What do we upgrade?
Do you remember something I said about Jalen Carter?
No, refresh my memory.
Hold on. I got something for you and everyone else. Is everyone listening? You ready?
That's gonna give me copyright. You're gonna get me on ban off the thing. You gotta turn that off.
No.
All right.
No, what you got for us? God forbid that everything that everybody has said, man, everyone has stolen my thunder because everything I wanted to say today, everyone has said, and it's God honest truth. From who of us hasn't sped over the speed limit? People Dominican Sue in that big old truck.
My apology, John. I said London Fletcher. I meant Fletcher Cox. I'm sorry. Yeah, listen, I'm passionate at this point. My bad. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
And to the point that I forget who it was a while ago, the exact point I wanted to make with him. He is 21 years old. He is barely a man. He is a young man. He is how old? 21. Now, I don't care where you're from, what your stance is. Maybe you had all your shit together. Maybe you were in the military and mentally you were broken down and rebuilt up and you'd never do this. Good for you. You had that training. You were mentally broke down and built back up and you're a soldier. You would never do that. This is a young man who is, as you said, and I'll say it to him in my own example, in a life-threatening situation. This year, biking to a friend's house. There was a car accident. I always envisioned if I was on a bike, I'd be on it, I'd jump off like Spider-Man. In a split second, this car hit this other truck, and inertia had this big old F-50 coming at me. And it just took forever, and I thought I was going to get ran over, and I froze. But for years, I always said, if anything happened, I just got to jump back. I moved back this much, and thank God the Lord was with me and moved that car out the way, or I wouldn't be here. He was in a horrible, life-changing, scary situation that in the blink of an eye, something happened. And it's like psychology. We're all human. Psychologically, he broke. He got scared. He was a human being. Money has nothing to do with it. What's going on? You're going to react in a way. He reacted as most humans would. He got scared. He took off. And the moment, came back, was like, bad decision. He owned up to it. And 2, on this whole out of shape thing, God forbid the man's human. You mean him being out of shape is us being good in shape? He's on the same level as us. And like you said, by September, he can't get into shape. Are you kidding me? Give this man a break. Everyone would be stressing and freaking out and gaining weight and anxiety up the butt if we had all that crap happen to us. And we expect, because he's going to be a draft pick, that just magically, because he's going to be in the NFL, none of the supplies, human emotion, psychology, nothing. No, he's a robot? No. And as you said, a bigger defensive tackle. Awesome. Let him get up to 325. Let him bulk up, get in that weight room, cut it down, and put it into muscle.
Okay, listen. I'm giving people opportunity to speak their stuff. Again, John, you're a regular. I love it when you come on. I love when all y'all come on. I want to get somebody who's not a regular coming in. And thanks for being so patient, brother. I'm gonna bring in Truth Teller, because the whole time this man was shaking his head so damn hard that we could have damn near said he was from New York. He was Harlem shaking the shit out of it. Truth, what you got for us today, brother? Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you for welcoming me on. Hey, look, I totally disagree. Look,
okay,
our choices have consequences. You wouldn't tell your child, hey, I know you messed up and everybody does this. No, you'll say, yes, people do this, but there's consequences for your actions. That's what we're missing. There's consequences. It's not to say he's a bad guy or that he's this. You are not your worst moment. But you do have consequences for those choices. Those choices that he made come with a consequence. Expecting you want to make millions of dollars, there's a certain way you gotta approach this to get that goal that you want. So I can't sit here and say I'm mad at the Lions for not saying that he's not on their board, because you have to act accordingly to get where you want to be. And it doesn't mean that you're a bad guy or you're this or that, but there's consequences to our choices, whether you're young or whether you're old. It's not to say that I can't reward you when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. It doesn't mean that it excuses what other people out there are doing either. You can't just say, that's all nice. He's stressed out and everything. And, he's feeling bad, but I'm going to reward you for not doing what you're supposed to do. Is that what you do for your children?
See, I think we don't disagree as much as you think, because I do believe that there are consequences to your actions. And so I don't think that we disagree. The question is what should his consequence be for speeding? And so I think the difference between where I'm looking at it and where you're looking at it is if he did something that was egregious, rather if that was my child, he gets punished. But I'm going to ask you this. Have you ever taken a CPR class?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm in the military, so yeah.
You said what now?
I'm in the military, so yeah.
Oh yeah, you ain't got no choice. But they tell you in the CPR and first aid class, it's called check, call, and what? Care, right?
Care.
So all right. So in most cases, you must check the area to make sure that the area is safe. And if the area is deemed not safe, you are told to get the hell out of Dodge, right? Fair enough, right? So there are certain situations, in my opinion, where a person can be in such a state of fear that an area in itself is not a safe area. And if that person who we know was racing, we know he was racing, right? You know he was racing. But what we also know is in that race, his car didn't do anything to result in that car crashing. We also know that he didn't do anything to result in that accident. And all thing that he did was participate in the crash. He himself could have killed himself in that crash, right? In doing that race, we know that, and that is a consequence. I'm not saying that I'm above the consequence. What I'm saying is we are crucifying the guy with made up facts, with stuff that didn't even occur. People like, yeah, he was drunk and he swerved, and when he swerved, the other car swerved. And that didn't happen, because if that happened, they not slapping his wrist. He going to jail. He's going to be locked up. They not playing with you. It's in Georgia, and I don't know if y'all know this or not, but things in Georgia are a little different for certain types of people. Let's just be honest. So at the end of the day, what he did at best was a misdemeanor. What I'm making the argument on is that's not enough to decide that you can't draft him.
Okay, you said two things there. You said a couple things there, right? So, right, are you reflecting the outcome to say that he doesn't have to pay for the consequences of doing said act? Because the outcome really doesn't matter in this situation when we're talking about these owners and this millions of dollars, because that's what we're really talking about. Investing millions of dollars into it, in my opinion, is immaturity right there. We all said it. It's really just coming down from youthful immaturity, right?
Okay.
And now I'm going to say my number 6 pick is getting, we always talk about cap on this channel, right? We're going to invest this much cap into this space, meaning I can't go out and get another player in that cap spot. Now I'm about to invest all these millions of dollars, and I can't even get you. This is your most vulnerable period. Will we not agree? When it's draft time, this is the most vulnerable period for any player going into the draft. This is your most vulnerable time. You got to be tip top at that time, because any little thing will drop you. Knowing that, even if you're a 21-year-old, you know that going into the draft. You know that going into draft season. So I got to make sure my choices are on tip top condition. It doesn't matter whether
that, though, truth. We are in agreement on all of that. We are in agreement that you want to make sure that people are at their best. We are in agreement that you should have consequences. There's no disagreement in that regard. Okay. My only thing is how our fan base is attacking this young man, making it seem like he's a hoodlum and a murderer when he's not that. That's where I'm saying is my issue. And the only
that's
thing
not where I'm at.
The only thing I'm also pointing out too in that fact is this, though, truth. And first of all, let me just shout out the Jersey, because the bitch is fire as hell. Let me just put that out there, okay? But anyway, I'm just putting it out there to say the fact that, listen, at the end of the day, right, we have to still look at all the facts. I want people who do things wrong to have consequences, right? But if me and you decided to go ice skating on ice in the lake and the ice break and your ass decided to skate away, why should you be punished?
Okay. So, are we really punishing him at this point?
Well, he's still going to get drafted. I'm not.
Yeah.
But what I'm telling you is the Lions fans have turned on him. I'm telling you, you can see the messages, right? I post a lot of stuff on this channel on the community page so I can see people's opinions. But a lot of the fans have turned on him, and they're questioning things that should not be questioned. And all I'm pointing out to the people is this. We can question a lot of stuff, right? We can question it, but we have to also understand that when certain things play out, they gave the man a misdemeanor, which is a fine and probation, which basically means don't speed no more. The same thing they do with points. Calm the hell down. Your defense is not good enough to pass up good talent. It's just not. It's not good enough.
But what I would also point to, it's not just that. If it was just, remember, I sent a comment to you and you responded, and I said,
yes,
it is not about just the driving, or even if we just want to dismiss that, right? Let's say everybody's talking about he's stressed out and all this wonderful soft stuff that we talking about, right? Like, his only job right now is to get ready to be drafted. That is his only job, regardless of the stress. Now, I don't know if you watch basketball. Look, Brandon Miller.
I do.
Right? Brandon Miller, right? Has that whole incident going on with his thing, right? What does he do the day that the news comes out? He has a game that same very night, and he drops 40. And you telling me a young man who's being called murderer, can I say that? Yeah, he's been called murderer in the middle of the game. He's literally being called that. Literally. And this dude is stone-faced the whole game. Drops 40. Like nobody even talking to him. Now, we speed over here to to Jalen. And he has 2 weeks to prepare. Not only do you come in out of shape, like, okay, let's forget about the drills. But the fact of the matter is, you came in out of shape. That means you were stress eating. So what happens when the real stress? I mean, not to say that this is not stress, because I don't want to play that off. But what happens when another stressful situation comes in? And what is he gonna do? Is he not gonna be ready for a game? Those are real.
I
Those
love
are
your
fair questions to
example.
ask.
I love your example because I think your example did one or two things. One, it set me up for a perfect counter and an easy score. And two, that was the perfect alley-oop to a reality here. You talk about one going into the game, the other one was practice. His tape already spoke for him. His combine already spoke for him. So we got combine that speaks for him that say he good to go. We got tape that say he good to go. He has one bad day. Now I don't know about you, but you know, I feel like me and you can be honest about this. It's been a time you've been with a nice lady and it just may have had a moment where something didn't quite feel right, and you was like, that wasn't my best performance. So just think if she took that same moment and said you was weak and trash and she can't rock with you no more. That
Well,
right there,
then I missed
wouldn't be
out.
cool. Right, but that's my point. And at that point, she misses out because now she overthought a moment instead of saying there's a different body of work. Because there's probably some people you got down with where you've had some amazing moments, and at the end of the day, when it all came down to, you may have had one bad and they forgave it because they knew what the real you was. And my thing is this: we talk about maturity. Tell me if this is not maturity or not. A guy gets an NLI deal knowing that he got people on his team who can't eat. He feed them all. Got an NLI deal, and he's out there helping these people with toilet paper and things that they family can't do, making sure that people's right. He's the spokesperson who volunteered and was put up front to go and meet with the different incoming class of freshmen and stuff like that. So there's maturity there, but there was a moment, and we all have a moment. And some moments you can't come back from. Some moments you just can't have. But this is one of the ones where I think this is as big of a reality shock you're going to get. He got to witness a crash that resulted in the death of two people. He got to get the idea of being slandered through the media. He got a chance of possibly going to jail. He's been fined, got to do community service, got to go to a fucking defensive driving class. Like where else on the planet can you drive so bad and then yet they tell you to go to a defensive driving class? Like, come on. I'm just saying, he's got enough consequences to straighten the arrow. The out of the shape thing don't bother me. Now tell me what he looks like when the game comes.
But let me ask this question, because you kind of set me up there. But as a owner, regardless of what I see on tape, because we've seen people that are amazing on tape, but when they get to this NFL, they can't handle what's about to come. You talked about how he does all these wonderful things in the community. Why in that position didn't he use that same great judgment to say, you know what, I got too much on the line? And I'm not saying that he shouldn't get a second chance, but does that mean that second chance is at number 6?
Okay.
Does that mean that? I mean,
it's
like,
not, but it's not a second chance. The second chance was the fact that he got punished for being there, right? That was the second chance. He didn't go to jail. They could have railroaded the hell out of him. And
but that's the law. But that's the law.
I'm not arguing that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. As an owner, I got to look at all these different prospects, and I have to think about situation. I have to think about the character of the player. I have to think about their work ethic. I have to think about all these things, and when I'm separating them, and to me, and this is just me, and this might just be me, when I look at the tape of him, although he is outstanding at pressure, that's what he's outstanding at. But I didn't see the total impact that everybody is making him out to be. I think he benefited a lot.
Now that is a different conversation. And now if you believe that he's not that guy, I can't argue with you. If your evaluation is you didn't see him jump off the tape, go back to the championship game when Jordan Davis was there. He clearly jumped off the tape. But
then I can point to the Ohio State game where he was non-existent. And I watched that whole game.
But you know the difference though? You know the difference is with that? It's the same excuse that everybody made for Aiden Hutchinson when he was disappeared, claiming that he was getting double team and stuff. And like none of that stuff was happening. That guy was literally the focal point. If you look at that defense, and I'm not being funny, if you look at the Georgia defense, of all the players from Georgia, who are you most worried about?
You were worried about Jalen Carter.
And so at that point, all I'm saying to you is at that point, that's the difference in what he brings to the team. And your team, aka our Lions, are not good enough to just be passing up talent. They're just not.
I just don't see. Okay, and like I said, it's just me. I just don't see what people are saying, Sue or Donald. I don't see that at all. Like, because those two were monsters in college, and they were the focal points. As a matter of fact, they were probably the only focal point on their prospective defenses. There was no other bot. You can't name now one good player on one of those lines that was sitting next to Sue or Donald on their perspective lines.
No, you know what though? You know what though? What? I can tell you this. Goddamn, you need to come on more often. Sue and Donald had an intangible that Jalen Carter has. And that intangible is something that you can't coach. That intangible is something that you can't teach. They are disruptors. They are a force. If you don't account for me, I will make you pay. I will make you suffer. And that's what Jalen Carter brings to a team. Now, if you flip that to a cornerback, which again, you ain't getting that out of a cornerback.
Oh no, me and you agree on quarterback,
right? I think most of us want to trade down. But I'm just saying, it's the intangibles on top of the other things and stuff. And to Steve-O, who says that Carter didn't work out the combine, I'm not talking about him necessarily working out the combine. I'm talking about the fact that he was there. He ended up having to go turn himself in. He turned himself in, then got out and came right back to the damn thing, and then still cheered on the other people who are participating. He still did all the interviews, all the measurements. He still did the stuff at the combine that needed to be done in the mature level, and he already had the tape. At the end of the day, I don't understand what else you want from the man. That's all I'm pointing out. Now, Truth, I'm gonna give you a minute to say your last piece. I'm gonna give you a minute to your last piece, and I'm gonna bring in our next guest. Go ahead, give me your last word, man.
The only thing I will say is, like I pointed out, like the only thing I would say to you is that regardless of, I feel like sometimes you're saying Holmes is not addressing the defense. I would rather you just say, I don't like the way he's addressing the defense, because that's why I pointed out he spent 80% of the picks on defense. Now you can say you don't like the players. You can clearly say that.
I told you they're scraps. They're scraps. Right? Like, for example, right? If just hypothetical, right? Let's say, man, we hanging out, right? And I'm like, yo, Truth, I want to take you out, bro. We're going to get some good old food and everything, right? Now, when we get to this restaurant, it's literally suit and tie. So you got to come to the nines, right? You come dressed up. You killing them. Top, head to top, hat, chain. You killing it, right? We get to the restaurant, and I give you a grilled cheese sandwich. And I say, listen, I'm going to order you this grilled cheese sandwich. Meanwhile, I got filet mignon, I got lobster tail, I got macaroni and cheese, and you got grilled cheese.
Cooking.
And I'm over here living my best life. At that point, what I'm trying to tell you is I gave you scraps. Why have you come to the place if all you was going to get was scraps? And when I look at what has happened, we talking 3 years of Patricia, who I screamed fired after the first season, and was told it takes 3 years to build a culture. Meanwhile, our head coach did it in 1 season. 1 season. Nobody wants to tell me I'm right about that. That's okay. I'm okay.
You were definitely right about that. But what I would point to is Holmes is a different person.
But it's 2 years. It's 2 years removed from a 3 years of bad defense, and it's still. And watch this, Truth. Watch this. What's the worst part of the Detroit Lions in terms of
their linebacker core?
Okay, what's the weakest unit out of the offense, defense, special teams on the Detroit?
It is the linebacker core. I don't disagree with that.
I'm just saying. So you can also say that the defense is still the worst part, and we have yet to address it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, last thing, because I know you got to get other people on the linebacker. I do agree that the linebacking core is probably the worst part of the defense. I don't disagree with that, but it depends. You have to come from the view of Holmes, because it seems like Holmes does not value the linebacker position the way you value the linebacker position. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's cool, because guess what? What Holmes can't do is Holmes can't show me why he don't value it. I can show Holmes why I do value it, and I can do it with not only one game, but I can give him the first case study starting with the Panthers game.
Okay. Look.
Just saying. Appreciate you for coming through, brother, man. You got to come through more often, man. Loving the jersey. And love the support. Let me bring in my next guest, my man Dan. My man from Dan Talks Football is in the building. What's going on, brother?
Man, Luke, I wasn't going to come on here because I just wanted to listen to what you guys had to say and everything. But it's like you guys are having the Jalen Carter show here today.
It's because I cannot believe the slander The audacity. I cannot believe how we get to a point where all of a sudden now he is the devil. I just don't get it.
No, you're speaking facts here. I gotta be the bearer of bad news here, and I gotta tell all you Lions fans that are talking about should we draft him, should we draft him, should we not draft him? You're not gonna have that option. He's gonna be gone. He's going to Seattle at 5. Seattle needs a defensive tackle. This is a Pete Carroll guy. You're not gonna have that option. You've been talking about should we draft him? You're not gonna have him. He's not going to be there at 6, and you're not trading up in this draft. So just throw that away right now. This is a guy. This is a Pete Carroll guy. He's going at 5. So just forget about it. You're not going to draft this guy because he's not going to be available. And that's what I got to educate everybody on. What he did, it's not that big of a deal. Pete Carroll, this is a Pete Carroll guy. I'm telling you right now, this guy's going to go at 5.
I think you could be onto something, but the only reason I'm a little skeptic is because they do get a second draft pick. But you could be very right that the Seattle go for the D tackle. Mm-hmm. They did bring back Reed, which I was like, yo, that's a good pickup for them. But you're right, he is a guy that fits that mold, and I guarantee you this. If Seattle takes him or any other team outside the Lions take him, you won't hear a single fan talk about that dumbass accident that he had nothing to do with. You won't hear a single fan talk about his pro day. You won't hear none of that. The same way I told everybody Montez Sweat ain't the guy y'all think he is. I told people that look like every take that I had.
I remember Montez Sweat.
Yeah, every time somebody said his name, I had to do the punch sound effects. I was like, no, just slap yourself. We done with this. Like, we can't take it no more.
I don't know if you remember.
And so my thing is I get what people are saying. I just don't get it. I don't get that. I don't get why everybody is acting like losing Jamal Williams was like losing Barry. It's not even like it wasn't even like losing DeAndre Levy. This is like not a topic. You got a better running back. Relax, chill, people. Like y'all crying about Jamal Williams, but y'all not upset about Will Harris. Where's the real anger at? Y'all not upset about freaking Alex Anzalone? Where's the real anger? Y'all not upset that we really ain't dressed our safety role and we got 2 of the same style players playing safety?
I don't even know if I should bring up what Chicago did in free agency.
But you know what? This is the reality right here.
Edwards would have been a great fit. Edwards would have been a great fit for you guys.
Man, Edwards would have been perfect. Listen, you would have been a better middle linebacker than Alex Anzalone. I'm not trying to I'm not this whole idea that I just don't like the players that we added. We're not adding players that have impact. We're not adding players that need to be accounted for. We're adding a bunch of average at best players. And then you wonder why our defense is average at best. And that's the sad part. We're not even average. The only high pick this general manager has ever invested on a defensive player was Aiden Hutchinson. And I don't even think he would have did that if Aiden Hutchinson wasn't from Michigan, because I'm convinced that had Aiden Hutchinson been taken first by the Jacksonville Jaguars, he was going to take Trayvon Walker. And I was going to just be looking like, here we go with this trash. And people want to talk about Brad Holmes, but I watched all those behind the dens and in the den videos, and Dorsey stops him repeatedly from making dumb decisions. Like he was finna trade up for Sewell. He was finna trade up for Levi. He was finna trade up for all these different people. And he gets stopped by other people in the room telling him to relax, calm your ass down. And all I'm saying is we're 5 years in. The defense was terrible 3 years ago. It was terrible last year, terrible the year before that. 5 years in of a terrible defense. When are we going to address the damn defense?
Man, you're speaking facts here, and hey, listen, if Carter's available, go for it, but it's not going to happen. I'm telling you guys right now, it's not going to happen. He's not going to be available. You're going to have to go elsewhere. Actually, man, I'm going to ask you, because I'm kind of at a loss here. You're stuck at 6. And I don't want to take up too much more time, so I'm going to ask this, and then you can move on. Who do you want at 6? Who do you want at 6?
If I'm stuck at 6, I'm taking a quarterback. If I'm stuck at 6
with Levis.
I'm taking a quarterback, or I'm taking Bijan Robinson, because I need to get a player who's gonna have impact. And everybody's gonna say, well, why are you taking two offensive players at 6?
I like the John Robinson still at 6. I really do, and I know it sounds crazy. It's just that I've been following this guy since he was a true freshman. This is a very special running back.
Kurt says, send me the link, Luke. I'll send it to you. It's pinned up on the video, but I'll send it directly to you, Kurt. I'll send you the link directly. So just hold tight, brother, and I will send it to you directly. But the reality is this: there's a belief that I hate Brad Holmes. I do not hate Brad Holmes.
No, you don't. You know,
I have literally
is pure facts.
But I asked the question. All I did was ask the question. I didn't do anything different. I didn't do anything extra. I asked the question, and the question was simple. And when I asked the question, so y'all can come in and have a talking point, y'all bailed on it. Y'all was like, nah. And then I was like, okay, so today I'm not asking the question. I'm telling you what I feel. I'm telling you what I see, because no matter what I say, it's going to be seen as blasphemy. But I see a lot of people still not wanting to admit all the things that I pointed out that happened. That I told you what was going to happen. I said Jamal Williams is going to ask for big money because he's going to say, I broke Barry Sanders' touchdown record. And what happened?
I remember
just that, and it backfired.
time we met. We talked about the draft, and I had Jawan Taylor as the pick, and you had T.J. Hawkinson.
Yep,
you were 100% right.
Yep,
you just spit facts.
Yep. I've made a lot of predictions where I was right on. I thought that we were going to take a DB, whether it be cornerback or safety. I said I would took the safety because I need somebody to stop this madness of these deep bombs. They were still dropping bombs on us. But hey, what can I say? Now to Steve-O, who says, let me go back to his comment. He says, where is it at? There you go. Kirby Joseph. Yeah. Kirby Joseph, Hutchinson, and Houston didn't have impact last season. Kirby Joseph did not have impact like you think. Kirby Joseph had impact against the Packers. Kirby Joseph had impact against a few other teams. But overall, no, we're not going to do that. And then on top of that, Aiden Hutchinson, that was the slowest start to anything I've ever seen in my life. He was so forgettable early on in the season. Let's not act like that. And every time I look up, people talk about how well he played when Kominski came back, which goes to the boot of what was said by Miko, who said he was Greek yogurt. He's nasty by himself, but with honey and fruit, he's delicious. And in terms of Houston, they didn't even know what the hell they had in Houston. They cut the man, brought the man back, and then finally put him in. It was an accident waiting to happen, and they finally realized it. Thank God for that. So please,
I'm pulling up the numbers right now. You're 28th in the NFL in scoring. I mean, they did have an impact. You had 39 sacks. That's kind of an average number. I mean, this is not a good defense.
5 years of this, bro. 5 years of me watching this, and people acting like I can't talk about it. Let me listen, Dan. Let me bring in a few more people before I get up out of here.
Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Also, Dan, don't forget, let the people know we're gonna be live tomorrow at what time?
Oh, man, 7. Well, hey, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, man. And we got to talk about free agency, man. It's been crazy, but just before I get off here, just telling you guys right now, Carter's going to be gone. Right? That's a Pete Carroll guy. He's going to be gone at 5, so just forget it.
Yep, and everybody gonna want a corner. Praise the Lord, saints. Appreciate you, brother. Let me break game another one of my brothers, man. I got my man Kurt Steele, and I think this might be Vale. Let's see. Let me see who this is. This is Andrew. Let me see. Is this Andrew?
What's good, fam?
Andrew has showed up in the building.
Man,
what is going on?
It's a DSA roundtable.
I know you see this. All right, listen. So that means that I'm finna get some shit. Let me go ahead and get myself together.
Okay.
All right, Kurt. I brought you in first. Talk your talk.
All right, man. Hey, it's some good moves. I won't say great, but good moves by Brad Holmes so far. I actually, when you had your corner, you wanted Murphy Button, or you wanted Murphy out of Arizona. I wanted Sutton because that's the guy I wanted. I think he's a smart player. He's physical. He's aggressive, and I like the way he has good coverage skills, and he keeps getting better each year. I like that guy. That was the guy I wanted. I wanted him because of his play style. And I'm not I'm not mad at the Mosley signing either. And I don't see how you could be either, Luke G. I know you're going to say, well, he's an injured player, but so was Murphy out of Arizona. So how can you be mad at the guy who Mosley coming off an injury and you talking about another guy coming off an injury and Murphy from Arizona? I want to hear your opinion on that. But bringing home Glasgow, who should have never left in the building in the first freaking place, that's a decent move. I love the running back. Swaggy was my guy. But you can get younger and better at a position of need. Hey, I'll take Montgomery over Williams all day. Williams, you let the clock run out on what you could have done here. Come back to Detroit. You said, hey, I don't need the deadline. So the deadline passed and you say he got signed. Somebody else got signed. I think we got to upgrade from Montgomery when we sign Montgomery. But other than that, like I like the Bugs re-signing. You know, he was a key piece. I don't think he's a long-term starter, but he's a good depth piece, and so is John Kaminsky. But the only guy I did not like that we re-signed, y'all know who it is, man. Will Harris. Man, the hell we doing?
You ain't lying.
Yeah, that's the one cat I was scratching about. Even though he had some plays, a little bit of flash last year, I'm still not sold on Will Harris. But even if you look at Tremaine, the money that Tremaine Edmonds got and the money that we paid for Alex Anzalone had a good season last year. Especially the second half of the season, led the team in tackles with 125.
I don't care about none of that, Kirk.
Yeah, I know you hate. I know you hate Eric Alexander.
Hold on, Kirk. Hold on. Just stay with me. He had all them tackles last year.
Mm-hmm.
If you can have Levante David or Alex Anzalone, who would you take?
Not Levante David, but Levante
If
David
he was never leaving. Hold on. I'm just saying. Hold on. Just wait. Just stay with me.
Okay, what you got?
Okay, if you could have had Miles Jack or Alex Anzalone, who would you take?
Not sure.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Bobby Wagner or Alex Anzalone?
Anzalone.
Okay.
And the reason why, because it's going to cost way too much money to get Bobby Wagner to Detroit.
No, listen. I'm not even asking for your reason. I just want to know, who would you rather have? Because for me, my point of trying to figure out is, will you feel that you can upgrade for Alex Anzalone? And it sounds like you do. And at that point, I don't care how many tackles he had. He had a lot of tackles because we didn't have shit up front. And when we had shit up front, he still had a lot of tackles because guess what? He couldn't do nothing. Stuff was getting passes because the secondary is bad. You know who was screaming for secondary last year? Me. You know who was asking for us to do something with the secondary in terms of safeties and in terms of cornerbacks? I was. So what I'm saying to people is, I don't want to hear this talk about all these goddamn tackles. Who cares about all these tackles? He's a liability. He's average at best. If I had the Kevin Samuel cut, I would play it. You're average at best. Like, that's how I feel. And I'm not trying to downplay it or act as if it's not fair.
I understand exactly what you're saying. Your stance on Alex Anzalone has never changed. It's never,
because he's a average at best linebacker. Just like Malcolm Rodriguez. I'm just putting it out there. Y'all can hate it.
You said, you've had your opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion.
I gotta deal with it now, Steve-O. This is like trauma. That's like a person who only been able to eat blue beetles to survive in the wild, and now all of a sudden he come home and he can have anything, and they give him blue beetles.
Here's my thing. If we get here's the deal. I will not. I don't say he's going to be the long-term answer but I agree. He's going to be a stopgap. I believe the Lions do draft a linebacker this year. I think it's a position of need. I think we do need to draft a linebacker. I'll say this: the Lions personnel like the linebackers that they have. They haven't changed their stance. Have they not?
Nope. That's a problem for me.
They have not changed their stance whatsoever. They said these are our guys, and that's what they've said it.
Okay.
They said it consistently. Like, this is the dude you got to, like Steve-O said, you got to deal with it because he's here. Luke G,
I'm gonna deal with it.
As much as we love the team, as much as we love our Lions, man, and much as we want them to do what we want them to do, at the end of the day, they're gonna do whatever the hell they want to do.
Now, let me answer your other question you asked earlier. You asked me how can I? You said how can I want Byron Murphy
Right.
but not want Emmanuel? There wasn't a single person that was not a 49er fan who talked about Emmanuel. Not a single person. On top of that, it's not the fact that he just that he added another hurt player. It's the fact that this become an MO of his to find a guy with a blew out knee. In fact, if you blew your knee out, Kurt, you are up next. I guarantee you they figure you a phone call because you just got to have an ACL or MCL tear, and they're going to bring you on the squad. My issue is when you go through and you're honest with yourself, nobody talked about this man because most people wouldn't have known that he was in the league this long. Right? Nobody would have known that. And when you go through, and I'm just showing you all the stats, not because I give a shit about him, because I want you to understand that, yes, I know he only played 5 games. I get it. But I want you to see how this is a guy who's been here for 5 seasons in this league. And now all of a sudden when he gets to the Lions, he's the shit. That's cap. We're not doing this.
Oh, I never said he was the shit.
I'm not saying you did, but I'm saying most fans are, and they're taking obscure information. This man has 1 interception in his career. Now, I don't know about y'all.
Not his career. He's got 4 career interceptions. I mean, 1? Is it? No, 4. He's
I'm
got
sorry,
4 interceptions.
Yeah,
right.
4 interceptions. I'm going to say he got 1 last year.
He averages one a year.
Interception a year. That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Okay.
He averages 1 interception a year. And so what I'm saying to people is this. That tells me that this guy, if he was so special, he was so special. He's not. He's another guy that they're bringing in to see what he can do. The same thing they did with Trinity Benson. I believe that Trinity Benson was going to have some. I'm like, I see what I got a little speed. It didn't work out. I'm sorry. It didn't work out. And that's all I'm saying. Andrew, it's been so long.
Man, yes, it's been so long. I'm talking to Drew, man. Drew, have you changed, man? Have you changed? You got a beard now or something?
I think I aged 10 years.
Next time I hear from Andrew, he's going to be like, I got 4 kids. I'm like,
yeah, man. I mean, the last time we talked to him, he had just got married and got a new house. But what you been up to, man?
I'll tell you what, man. Life's been busy, but the Lions were definitely fun to watch last year.
Man, listen, everybody, I hate to say it this way, everybody is happy because we finished with a winning record. I'm happy we finished with a winning record, right? But you don't get to keep pissing on me and telling me that you only spilled apple juice. I'm sorry. And at the end of the day, that defense was much of the same in the beginning as it was in the end. And while it did improve in a lot of areas, we also played a lot of teams who were hurting Ellen and hot garbage. And when the time came for us to put the team away, for us to keep our hopes alive, what happened? They ran all over us, and Kirk had to sit through it in the cold and watch the BS.
I ain't gonna lie to you. That's
so yeah. And first black man on the net says, Luke, maybe you should be the GM. If I was, I guarantee you we wasn't going 9-8 last year. We would have won a division, and I guarantee you we'd have had a deep playoff run. You know why? Because I would have took the talent. Not these little scraps that you pick up off the ground. Like what we've been doing is adding people like just a little bit of pinch of salt here and a little bit of pepper here. No. Go and get the full fucking season. Get your hand heavy. I want that black grandma hand of season.
I think Luke read one of my articles over there on Sideline Report.
I mean, first of all, shout out to the Sideline Report, man, because you be over there. I love what you over there doing, brother. So, but Andrew, get what you got, man. I mean, to me, I'm making 2 things clear. I'm tired of the slander against Jalen Carter from the Lion fan base. I'm tired of this fan base acting like we lost our lifeline. And because all I've been told is you got to bring him back, Luke. He's a locker room. You'll lose your locker room if you don't re-sign him. Where his ass is gone. And the locker room going to still be strong. It's going to still be popping. And I don't want to hear that. You got to bring him back, Luke. That's trash and that's cap. That guy was a one-trick pony who I did like. I love everything about his attitude. I love everything about what he did. But as a player, when he came in the game, everyone knew, hands up, we all knew he was running the ball. They weren't throwing it to him. So I'm asking you.
He got brick hands.
Man, what? So I'm asking you, Andrew, what are your thoughts on the Jalen Carter talk, the Lions free agency? Whatever you want, the floor is yours. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Oh, I got a lot. I was listening to you for a minute, man. I was like, you know what? I got hop on. He has a link out. I was like, it's been like a year. I was like, I got to join my DSA brother. And then Kurt came in too. I'm like, oh, shoot, family reunion.
Go for it.
Go, baby.
So the first thing I want to touch bases on.
I see you in the back, Salty. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You good. I swear I heard you talk about for like 10 minutes straight. You went on monologue. You're like, This GM has not addressed defense early and heavy besides Aiden Hutchinson. And then someone asked you, like, well, who would you take at 6? And you said a quarterback. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yep.
I was like, my man just said for like 10 minutes straight that he needs to address defense, get those high picks, get those tops, talent in, and then you would take a quarterback. So I first off,
but remember the question was, Andrew, if Carter's not there, they said if Carter and Will Anderson is not there, and they said none of the quarterbacks that I want is there, who would I take? And I said I personally want the quarterback or Bijan Robinson. But my first choice is trade the pick if I can. But if Carter's there, I'm taking Carter.
All right. So my follow-up question would be, how important it is to get top tier talent. So why choose for the 4th overall quarterback in the draft when you could still potentially get second DN, top quarterback, top safety,
because at that point, there isn't a cornerback that I think I like with that pick that I believe can come in and have the impact. There isn't a safety that I like that I can take with that pick to have impact. And when I go through and I look at the draft as a whole, we had no problem waiting for a fucking receiver to sit. So why is it now all of a sudden shocking to wait for the quarterback? So I just look at it like this: you're not going to be picking this high next year. At least that's what I'm hoping everybody is expecting us not to be picking high next year. Mm-hmm. And if we're not picking high next year, when are you going to get your quarterback? Because if you wait till next year to get your quarterback, then that means that you essentially got 1 year and you got to hope that he's ready to rock and roll by then. But at that point, you're going to run into a strange dilemma. I mean, that dilemma you don't want to run into. You don't want to keep waiting to go ahead. If you believe that Jared Goff is your guy, then when the draft over, re-sign him. Extend him right then and there. But if you don't believe it, you should have took your damn quarterback. So that way you can have somebody ready to rock and roll and you can dump his contract and get like 30-something million and then go back to adding more scraps to the defense. So that's my viewpoint. I'm not acting as if though that, we can't do it. But in this particular situation that we're in right now, we are in a very rare situation where the guy that I really want probably won't be there. But if he is there, I'm taking him. And if he's not, guess what? Cool.
So who do you want? Who do you really want at
Jalen Carter?
Jalen Carter. Okay, I got you.
Yep. I want the guy. I want the guy in the middle.
I feel you on that one.
I want the guy in the middle.
I cannot dispute that point at all.
Let me.
If one or two players are there, if Will Anderson or Jalen Carter is there at 6, that's a no-brainer.
No, I'm just saying, Andrew. Before you go in, let me let Salty come in. I want to let the people get in really quick. Then I'm gonna let you just go ham. All right.
All
right. Salty, what you got for the people, man?
What up? What up?
What's going on, bro? What you got for the people, man?
Man, I just want to, let y'all know that we ain't never seen no GM work like this. Okay.
Nope.
Since 1957, we got one playoff win. Okay. And we've never seen a GM operate this way. And what he's doing is he's cheap. Yes, he is cheap. He's signing cheap guys. He's signing our guys back. Anzalone, I do not condone that re-sign, but the only reason I condone it is because he's cheap. We ain't got no salary cap space. Brad Holmes has not had any salary cap space since he got here.
3 seasons?
And 3 seasons, he's not really had. Well, you got to look at the last 2.
Bob,
man. We had
Bob Quinn.
No, bro, we had 30. No, that's not true. We had 36 million. I believe the first season, the
36 million, man.
Wait a minute. He lost most of that. If you're going through look at the Lions' history on dead cap money on people he's bringing in and then cutting like Trinity Benson's and all these, that's where your money is going.
Man, we still had
but you got to look at it like this.
Players.
Yeah, you got to look at it like this. 36 million. Okay, I'm gonna break it down for you. Your rookie class is going to cost anywhere from 12 to 15 mil to sign. So you got to have that.
That 36 mil that I told you. That 36 mil I told you had already took the rookie class money out. We already had the rookie class money out.
I'm just saying in general, 36 million ain't going to get you what we need. We need a team, right? Look at our defense at the beginning of the year. It was pure garbage, right? And even towards the end, it was trash.
Still garbage.
The Panthers ran for 400 yards on us.
Still garbage.
So here's my thing on Anzalone. Like everyone says, like, oh, he had all these tackles. Well, here's my kicker. Picture this with me. If we stop a team on their first drive, they don't get a first down. How many tackles can you get? 4, right? Or 3 even, right? The reason he had all them tackles is because they driving the whole damn field. They got 15, 20-minute drives. And yeah, you're going to have 120-something tackles because you can't stop nobody on first down or second down. So I get what he's doing. We may not like it as fans, right? It's not splashy. It's not the best receiver like we used to take in the draft. And I'm with you on Carter, right? I don't care if he slapped a baby in the face on camera. You draft that man.
I ain't go that far.
Man.
I'm just saying.
Man,
I'm not here to build no Bible kissers, okay? I'm here we're building a football team. Okay. If you want to pray, go to church on Sunday. Don't watch football. So, he's a big man. He's going to command a double team, and he's going to free up Hutch. He's going to free up your defense to make plays. You draft that man. You run to the podium. So
that's all I was saying. That's all I was saying. Something. That's why I let you.
I agree with that 100%.
To talk y'all talk again. I gave everybody a chance to do this the day before, where I said this is gonna be y'all's show. I put the link out there immediately. Nobody wanted to talk about it, so I'm sorry. Salty, I gotta let my man Andrew cook because he was in the middle of setting it up. The chef was in the kitchen. I appreciate you coming through. I'm just not buying. We ain't had Cap for 3 fucking seasons, and if we didn't, you telling me that and where's it at? Truth Teller said it right there. Cap space is meaningless in the NFL. When New Orleans has been over the cap seamlessly since the inception of the NFL and still able to make major signings and move. I don't want to hear about this cap talk, bro. He's had money. And we keep getting dead money because we keep trying people out. And bro, you gave a whole, even though it's where's that? Steve had a matches. Where he say? Trinity Benson, right here. Benson was making a league minimum. You know who else making a league minimum? Will Harris, and it's fully guaranteed. And if you cut him, you eat that. And I don't know if you know this or not, but I got a friend who owns a liquor store, and guess what he told me? He gets excited when y'all leave that little penny behind because he guarantees at least 30 of y'all gonna do it a day. And that's a 30-cent profit every single time. And most people leave more than that. So that shit adds up. So I don't want to hear league minimum because at the end of the day, every penny counts.
Last year, I had to say last year, it wasn't the dead cat wasn't the big issue last season. The last year, it was all the injured money that was being spent on play that was on injured reserve or the pup list. We had like 30-something million during the season on the locked up on injured reserve or pup list.
It was like 3 of our top 5 contracts were all.
Yeah, we're on the pup list.
But he know they hurt when he bring these people in.
No, they didn't start hurt. Like Big V wasn't hurt.
Who wasn't on there?
Romeo, Charles Harris, and Big V were the biggest ones. Yeah. Those contracts were massive.
Bro, before he got here, Big V was already hurt. We knew he was hurt. Stop playing.
No, he wasn't expected to miss last season like that, man. Come on now.
Not only would I take this bet right here.
Do you guys want to cut Romeo?
If the Lions win the Super Bowl, I would 100% shut this channel down. But since how confident I am, they ass won't even win the division this year, and that's without Aaron Rodgers being in there. Now put that in your pipe to smoke it. I guarantee you that based on what I'm seeing, if they don't make major moves to improve this damn defense, don't even begin to talk Super Bowl. Talk to me about the division. A division where you have a Bears team in the second year of a rebuild, a division where you have a Vikings team in the second year of a rebuild, and completely deconstructed their entire fucking defense. Who, by the way, I would have took Kendricks at this goddamn point over Alex Anzalone, but that's none of my business. And if you're telling me that you believe that this team is going to go to the Super Bowl this year, which I know you're not saying that, then stop the noise. Because at the end of the day, I will shut this goddamn channel down. They go to Super Bowl this year and say, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Okay, if you said this year, okay.
They're not going to no goddamn Super Bowl this year. I don't want to hear that.
I never said that they would.
I know you didn't. I know, but he said if the Lions win the Super Bowl, Luke shut this channel down because he has no more content. Shit. I'm gonna shut it down just because that show they don't show. I ain't know what I'm talking about. But with the people he brings to this defense, we ain't winning shit with that. I can tell you that right now. With the people he's added to this defense, none of them people he's added to this defense are a threat to anybody. Nobody.
What? Are you serious?
Who?
I like
I'm-
Sutton.
he-
I like
I
Sutton.
like
I'm not gonna
Sutton.
lie.
Sutton is a good
Okay,
is
we
an
gonna
excellent
okay.
corner.
We
The
gonna see
second
how much you
corner-
like. We gonna see how much you like Sutton when he go against the first fast receiver and he torched his ass. We gonna see how much you like him.
Well, the second corner he signed was like a depth piece. It's just a flyer, right? It's a 1-year deal.
Not to
They
Lions
could even
fans.
cut him.
He Iron Man.
Nah,
They could even
man.
cut him
What
to
are
a
you-
training, before training
Okay,
camp. You know what I mean?
you talking to the BSC fans, the blue.
Oh,
Kool-Aid
so look.
drinking-
So now he says, who in the hell
yeah.
said he's going this year? So why we talking about Super Bowl then? If we ain't talking
So-
about this year, don't talk to me about no Super Bowl. I don't want
So
to hear about
what-
no.
I just
Super
want
Bowl.
to play off
what-
one, guys. That's
What,
it.
what I'm saying is that you look
One.
at he's a depth piece. The Lions are still going to draft a corner. Period. Point blank. It's going to happen because you got
Yep.
yeah, because he's got the Mosley's on a prove it deal. And Sutton's on a 2-year deal, which that third year is a parachute. He can get out. The Lions can get out of that. You know what I'm saying? With the way
I
it's
get all
structured.
that, Kurt. I have
Mhm.
no problem with all the way the contracts are structured. I get all that. The
Mhm.
problem is they still got to be here. They still got to be here.
You look at you talking about a guy that you say Byron Murphy. I've seen him make one play out there in Arizona.
That's fine, right? That's
yeah.
fine because you know what we get to do? We get to see Byron Murphy 2 times this year, and we get to see if my evaluation of him was right versus
We will
who
get
we
to
took.
see.
So, and if I'm
Because
wrong, I'll say I'm wrong, right? I have no
Because
problem with that.
for me, I look at Byron Murphy like you probably look at Cam Sutton.
No, what I'm looking at is okay, hold on. What did they pay Byron Murphy?
Similar contract to Sutton, right? Something
No.
like that. What did they pay him?
No, I don't think they gave him a similar contract. Let me see. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it was a shorter term, but it was incentive laced. Let me see. Byron Murphy, 2 years, 22 million. So 11 million with 14 million guaranteed, right?
That's similar to what that's the numbers.
But his contract is incentive laced.
Well, it needs to be. He's coming off a major injury.
Right, but this is what Brad Holmes like. That's why you got these other knee blown out guys on the team. That's what I'm saying. He likes these kind of guys. I picked Byron Murphy because I was picking guys that fit the formula. Your knee is blew out, and that's what he likes. He likes hurt people.
I thought Byron Murphy's a quad injury.
Listen,
he's a quad injury. He's a quad
listen,
injury.
whatever the hell it is, he like hurt players. I'm just trying to
Well,
get
he got one of them. He got one of them.
He do.
Okay,
got one.
I'm just saying. Go listen. Let me go ahead and let my man Andrew talk your talk. Andrew, the floor is yours. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm just having a little too much fun.
Hey man, I'm glad to coming on with you, Luke. Man, you coming on tomorrow?
I'm planning on it as long as I don't get hit with work.
Hey man, hey Drew, take it easy, man. Salty man, I gotta check out of here, man. Y'all be easy, man.
Appreciate it. Go ahead, Drew. The floor is yours. Open the can of whoop ass on me. I'm all ears.
Man, I mean, there's just so much content. I mean, literally, like it's crazy because I'm gonna bounce around for a second. Obviously, jump in wherever you want, but I'm just a firm believer in the first and second round. You should be drafting the line. Everything starts at the line. You want good linebacker play, you start with the line. You want good cornerback play, you start with the line. You want good running, you want good passing. Everything's starting with the line, right? What Bob Quinn failed to do is start with the line. What Brad Holmes is trying to do is start with the line. His first round picks the last 2 years, offensive line, defensive line, right? His second round picks, defensive line, right? He's trying to address the specific positions that are going to put you in the areas to succeed, right? Levi, I would have never drafted Levi, but he has the right mentality, right? You know, you grab the Lee McNeil, and Lee McNeil, you know, he's role player. I think he has good traits and stuff. But if we are addressing the trenches first, success in the back end will come. You look at the 49ers, they don't really have the craziest secondary. I think Jimmy Ward's a stud, but starts with that defensive line. You look at the Ravens, you look at the Steelers, you look at all these guys where their secondary is playing lights out. It's because their defensive line is doing their job. In the first round this year, we have 2 picks. You have the prime opportunity to set your franchise up. If we do somehow get Jalen Carter at 6, and we do get like Van Ness or someone at 18,
Oh,
I'm
God,
taking deep.
Oh my God, no.
Look,
go ahead.
Look, so
Jesus.
if you can get top tier guys on defensive tackle and defensive end in the first round, you do that. Because I know you said Bijan and Will Levis or whoever is at 4. I mean, the fourth quarterback's going to come off the board. You want people that are going to make immediate impact. Brad Holmes is currently signing players that at the very least can be decent so that he can take best player available. If you look at all our signings, he's hit 5-6 different position groups, right? That's because nothing is worse than putting your team in a position where, man, I have to take a cornerback. I have to take a defensive tackle. I have to take a quarterback. Man, we need wide receivers, right? What did we do last year? You brought in Chark. The year before, brought in, Josh. You have to put your position, your team in a position to be able to draft like the Ravens, like the Steelers, where they're grabbing best player. At 6, I fully expect 3 to 4 quarterbacks to go. I do anticipate a trade probably happening during the draft. And we have the opportunity to get Anderson or Carter. If not, in all reality, does it really hurt to move up a little bit in the draft to grab a bona fide stud at the position?
No, it hurts. No, it hurts like hell. No, Andrew. No, it hurts. You got 5 picks in the top 81. You need 4 starters. Why are you trading capital to move up for one player like you don't have a lot of problems? Your linebacker core is not your linebacker core is a joke. Your secondary is laughable. And your D line has 2 pass rushers.
Look, let me ask you something. All these picks that we've accumulated, what good are they if we're not getting top tier talent? I understand
You said what now?
I truly do. But you look at the offense, top 8 offense, easily. You look at the defense.
We're not talking about offense. I'm talking about 5 years of a pathetic ass defense. When is we
I
gonna
agree.
fix it?
I agree. But if you think about it, to move from 6 to 5 to basically guarantee Anderson or Carter, because one of them will be there at 5, that's not anything where you're like trading 2 firsts. That's not going to happen, right? We have.
I'm not trading nothing, bro. All you gotta do is sit there, bro. You listen to me, okay? Do we have 4 holes that we can put 4 starters at right now on this team?
100%.
Okay. Why the hell are we giving up capital for that? To move up for one guy.
Look, let me ask you. So let's say they don't trade back, they don't grab Bijan, they don't grab your quarterback. You already don't like these other players, right? So
no. If they trade back, I know exactly who I want.
How far are you trading back if that's a potential?
I'll go back as far as possible if I'm getting more capital for the future.
Okay. But my point is if you have pick of the litter, you're getting from your scouting department the most elite player at 6, most elite player at 10, because 3 quarterbacks are going out the bar. I'm not taking a quarterback in the first round. There's no way in hell I'm taking a quarterback in the first round, given the holes at defense. Makes 0 sense when I can get the top players in their positional groups at 6, even potentially at 18. Trent Simpson, Jack Campbell, a couple rounds later. There's so many good positions we can grab. I don't see the need to waste them on players that we don't think are elite level talent. And if I can get someone like Jalen Carter, Will Anderson, depending on what the price is, I'm going to do it, because you pair them up and you make the right moves. It doesn't matter. But if you're wasting picks, Levi, I think Levi is a great player, we'll take him a second. Like, that shit's stupid. That's a waste of a second pick. Okuda at 3. I mean, the jury's out, but we could have got a stud at 3. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to just grab what you need. You need to grab elite level talent.
That's what I'm talking about doing. I believe I can do that. I believe I can get 4 out of my 5 picks to be elite talent. That's all I'm saying.
18,
let me address this guy really quick. Detroit Lions News Show. The link is in the description. And if you ever want to come on and just do a show, hit me up on like Instagram or on Twitter, and I will get you on. Not hard. The link is in there. You can join now, to be honest with you. But yeah, let me hit a few comments, Andrew. I want to let you cook them. Yeah, if it's not who Luke wants, he won't like it. So count on Luke not liking it. Really? It's who Luke wants, right? It's who Luke wants. Got it. Because I just made the whole 5 years of a shitty ass defense up. That was just me making it up. It's who I want. Funny how that works. That's what it was. I didn't know. I didn't know that's what it was. Let me hit on this one. Oh, it's who Luke wants, the YouTuber, not Brad Holmes, the GM. Because Brad Holmes is killing it. He had that defense on fire, and we on year 3. Absolutely. He's lost games because his defense is hot garbage. And we're having a debate about this. This is comical. You have got to be kidding me. Right? Like this, you can't be serious. This is who I want. I want a fucking defense that can stop somebody. Yeah, you're right. That's what Luke wants. He wants
I
a
think
defense
we
that
all
can stop
want that.
somebody.
Luke,
That's what I'm
Luke,
We
saying.
all want that,
did,
man.
Luke, did you see the quote that they put out that they said that I think it was Dan Campbell and Brad Helms basically said that there's only 5 players that they interviewed that actually have like the it factor and like the qualities they're looking for. They said 5 out of like the 30 something kids that they interviewed.
And this, dude, listen, hold on. Not a Lions fan, but the Pistons. Brad Holmes' picks are not quality enough to win the North. Talk to me about that. Don't tell me about who I want. Talk to me about that. I'm trying to fix things that are serious problems. That's why I've been screaming we need to get secondary. What happened last year? Everybody jumped on the train because Kirby had some good games against Aaron Rodgers. Where was Kirby ass at when they was? Oh, don't get me started on how that damn tight end got behind him and against the Bears. Where is he at on run support? Then when Luke tell you that Okuda ain't worth a top 10 pick, you don't know what the hell he's talking about. Meanwhile, Okuda on his way out. Now, bye-bye. Tell you he a safety. Luke, you're delusional. Bye-bye. Tell you to fire Matt Patricia after the first year. It takes 3 years to do kosher. Bye-bye. That ain't what Luke want. Luke want a winner. And I'm tired of people acting like the minute somebody leave, they trash because they off the Lions. And the minute somebody new come in, they're freaking Nelson Mandela. It's not the truth. The reality is the defense sucked. And it's been sucking for the last 5 years. And it's not my opinion. It's evidence-based. You don't have a defense that's been in the freaking top 15 in the last 5 years. And if you don't like that, I feel bad for you. Andrew, let me bring in a new guest, Detroit Darcy. He's coming in. What you got for me, sir?
What are you saying, brothers? What up, doe? What up, doe? I'm
up?
excited for this year, man.
Okay,
Love your
talk to
show.
me.
Love your work, Luke.
Appreciate it. Listen, like I said, it's open forum. I leave it open for people to come in and tell me I'm full of shit and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm cool with it. What blows my mind is when people act like what I'm saying is so far-fetched. I say, you know what? Hey, you guys had no problem taking a luxury pick last year and a receiver who couldn't help you at all last year. And it wasn't my opinion. It was facts. Nobody want to tell me that. But they want to say, oh, who you mean? He had a good run. That dude did nothing for your team last year. Nothing. You needed a linebacker. You still need linebackers. They brought back Will Harris.
I fully believe that we were trading up to grab Jordan Davis.
I
thought 100% we were going to grab him because that dude is big as hell, and he just fits the mold of a defensive tackle that you want up the middle. And even the Eagles' defense, when he was on the field compared to off, it showed. And they had a stellar defense, so it's like, it's crazy to think that we traded up for a torn ACL wide receiver that, don't get me wrong, he was projected to be the top receiver off the board before. But it doesn't make sense to get injured players when you're in the position that the Lions are in. You need to grab bona fide starters off rip.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people acting like I'm so wrong for asking for this. Like, oh, you're just so wrong. Now, Detroit Darcy, aka from Detroit Lions news shows, who I'm subscribed to, talk your talk, man, because apparently I'm delusional. So
No, you're not delusional.
Yeah,
actually, you're well respected in the community of podcasters.
Everybody's upset because they're going in the right direction. But watch what's going to happen. Mark my words. I'm telling you, I saw our opponents, and I've been watching what they're doing heavily. And I'm telling you, the only thing I'm waiting to see is when we play them. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a lot of people who are going to have to go ahead and tuck tail and turn because it's not going to be the result they thought they was going to get. When the defense come out and it's hot garbage again, he has to hit on those damn defensive picks. I'm sorry. The floor is yours, Detroit Darcy.
Are you guys kind of concerned about the beginning part of the season? Because Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, well, mostly Dan Campbell, hasn't been able to win in September and a little bit of October.
No, I'm not worried at all because I don't.
You're not worried at all. But
I don't blame Dan Campbell at all. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be funny. I don't blame him at all. When you look at Dan Campbell and what it is people, his side of the ball is performing. You know what I'm saying? His side of the ball is performing. And so for me, I can't worry about Dan Campbell when his side of the ball is performing. Our problem has been and still is for the last 5 years is defense. So no, I'm not concerned about him winning it in September.
Well, absolutely. But aren't you worried about the slow starts and finishing strong in December and January that's when the real players come out to play. Most they're playing through injuries and I get it with Ben Johnson, being the new OC and finally getting his shit together after the Patriots game and going on a 9-game, winning streak, or not 9-game winning streak, but winning being great in the last 9 games. That's hard to do in the NFL, God damn it, don't you think? But I'm in these other groups, the NFC North, the huddle, and these Viking slappies. I'm telling you, these guys, they think they are going to run the North. Like, what do you guys think? And talk about, what do you think? Because I really think we are going to have the same record. I said 7 wins last year. I think we're going to have 9. I think we have a tougher schedule. We have 1 less home game. It's just I'm realistic. I'm a realistic Luke. Listen. I'm a realistic. I'm a realistic Lions fan. 9 wins. If we go 2 over, like they do on 97 won the ticket, you always go 2 over or 2 under. If we get 11 and win the division, like, what are your thoughts on us winning the division? What do you think Chicago did? Do you think Chicago overpaid? Do you think the Vikings got better? And are you scared of Jordan Love? Talk about it.
Luke, can I start off?
Yeah, you definitely start this one off. Go ahead.
All right, so I am curious what you're going to say. So first off, I think that the majority of our teams in our division are in a rebuild. I mean, if you truly look at it, the Bears undoubtedly in a rebuild. They literally are refinancing their whole team. They're bringing in free agents and what have you. I mean, you look at the Vikings statistically, and this is not my opinion, had not only the worst defense, but they were the most winning team I have ever seen, at least in history, with the 32nd ranked defense in the NFL at the end of the season. I don't think they said ever in the history of ever has a team, what was it? Well, they won like 12 games or something like that. Have a 12-win team ranked 32nd on defense. And what happens is year in, year after, that stuff corrects itself. They not only rank that poorly, but they're losing players that are starters. Dalvin Cook, I don't know if they officially released him. They're talking about getting rid of him. Adam Thielen's been there for years. Don't get me wrong, he's not a crazy impactful player. They got rid of him, but he's still a solid wide receiver in the league. You look at their defense 2 years ago was unbelievable. The majority of their defense is all over the place. They're not there anymore. Zadarius Smith wants out. Harrison Smith is older and starting to have injuries. They don't have a secondary. They don't really have a pass rush. They have nothing going for them on defense, and they're in a worse position than us, not only defensively, but offensively. They have Justin Jefferson, who is, to me, the top receiver in the league, arguably. And you have Hawkinson. Yeah, they utilize him how we should have been utilizing him. But that is not enough to say that they're going to beat us. And yeah, they brought in Byron Murphy. Who gives a fuck? I mean, it's one cornerback, right? If you don't have a pass rush, one quarterback's not going to do anything. He's going to be cooked. We've seen it time and time again and everything. And the Packers, I mean, you had a Hall of Famer there last year and couldn't connect with the receivers. They're not on the same page. Their defense was all right. Aaron Jones, another year older. They have A.J. Dillon, cool. They don't have receivers. They're all over the place. I don't see how, regardless of anything, how the Lions aren't in the position, just given their offense. We've seen time and time again throughout the league that if you have top 5 offense, you can make the playoffs. You have a top 5 offense, you can win your division. You still have to have defensive play. And I know our defense is not nearly where it needs to be, but if you do look at those last 10 games compared to our first 7, our defense statistically was, I think it was like middle of the pack. If we can have a middle of the pack defense this upcoming year with how well our offense performed last year, there's no doubt in my mind that with development growth and doing well in the draft, we should easily take the division. And I believe, go ahead.
Oh, real Detroit Lions fan. You still got Frank Clark. He's 29 years old. You got Leonard Floyd. He's 30. Bobby Wagner, 32. Why isn't Brad Holmes going up and signing these guys? A veteran, all-star, all-pro fucking linebackers. Why?
Because he's cheap. That boy, listen, he's so cheap. He remind me of the guy from I'm Gonna Get You Sucker when he asked the dude how much for one rib. You know, like he's cheap. And I hate to say that, but the reality is it's the truth. He's cheap. And I'm not being funny when I say this. It's the Lions' job to prove themselves to the world. It ain't my job to convince nobody if they're going to be better. Every fan thinks their team's going to win a division. They're going to be great. I ain't got to make that decision. The Lions got to show us. What I can do is be objective and say, hey, do we got the talent to win the division? Do we got the talent to win a playoff game? Do we got the talent to go deep in the playoff? And when I look on offense, I say, yeah, because he does invest in the offense. It's the defense that he asks if it's okay, he can add scraps to. That's my problem. And so with that being said, anything anybody say to me, I'm cool with. It says that would be Chris Rock. I know that was Chris Rock, but that was an I'm gonna get you sucker where he gonna say something, how much is the drink? And then he gonna ask, let me get the cup for 10 cents and then a nickel for the rib. I mean, he cheap. He just cheap.
Look, let me jump in real quick. I love Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner is one of the best linebackers we've seen in the last decade, right? I'm a firm believer linebacker play is so unbelievably critical on a defense. We've talked about this in past roundtables. But if you look at, and I'm going to talk about salary cap for a second. If you look at the salary cap and you look at where we're at, nobody is expecting us to win the Super Bowl next year, right? There's not players in free agency that are worth dropping money in when we could truly invest in it next year and hit top tier, whatever position groups you want, and actually have more developed on the defensive side of the ball with this upcoming draft. I don't see the need to invest a bunch of money now when we are not going to win the Super Bowl or not going to go Super Bowl this year. We're looking at, let's win the division, maybe a playoff game. I don't want to waste the cap now when it's a Bobby Wagner where, they'll probably give him 1 year, 2 year deal. It's one of these guys that are 30 years old, right? I want to do it where I can bring in a top tier defensive player that is a free agent because maybe he's upset with this team, this, that, whatever. After this year, we have 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and you are so much more developed, and they're leaning on our coaching staff to keep developing these players.
Andrew, we've been doing this shit for 3 years, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Listen, at some point you're gonna have to touch. Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this right here. Listen, I use these different references for a reason. At some point, when the woman is naked next to you, you're gonna have to touch her. Okay, it's gonna have to happen. And at some point, he's gonna have to touch this goddamn defense and touch it with some real conviction. And I'm sorry, but you're not gonna convince me that over the last 3 years he has done enough for this defense to compete in this division. This defense has not. It's no way of getting around. That's all I'm saying. We've been on for 2.5 hours, man. I gotta end this thing so I can get my butt up early in the morning. I just, I'm gonna try my best to do another show tomorrow if I could, and hopefully everybody hop in. We can continue the conversation, and I'll send links out. Whether you want to join Darcy, hit me up on Twitter, and I'll definitely send it out to you. But we beating a dead horse here. The defense is ass, and there's no getting around it. And at some point, he's gonna have to fix it. And I'm sorry. This is the longest I've ever seen any person take to improve a defense.
Well, do you think Alex Anzalone is going to get us to a Super Bowl? That is the question.
Alex Anzalone won't get us through the goddamn a game of meaningfulness. I'm sorry, like the most meaningful game we had last year with a chance to keep our hopes alive was against the damn Panthers. What happened?
And that's my guy there, Chuba Hubbard. I recruited him. I've been talking to him since he was 15, and he destroyed us. And it's bittersweet to me being an area scout here in Canada and just on the other side of the creek. And he's from Edmonton, so he with my scouting, whatever, it doesn't matter. But thank you, Luke. I'd love to have you on the show.
Hey, hit me up. I'm there. Hit me up. And
we're gonna do a draft show. I don't know if you're doing a draft show.
I haven't decided yet.
I'm gonna ask Quinn to come on again.
I know next year I'm definitely not because I'm gonna be there. But
I'm gonna be at the Super Bowl. I already got my. I want
to address this one comment. It says Brad ain't wasting no cap space on old farts. This was a Quinn program, overspending or washed up town. Y'all, okay, listen. I've been talking about this for the longest. When has anybody ever heard me say spend and overpay for anything? You never heard me say that, right? What I said is you don't have to spend and overpay anything, but you do have to get quality players in quality key positions. And so at the end of the day, he didn't do that. So guess what? He's not going to pay for old farts. That's great. I feel you. He's going to pay for average to math players and players who are freaking like ill and sick and hurt and broken. Because that's his thing. He likes that thing. He likes hurt people because he knows that they come cheap. You see, he's like the guy that goes in the store to go grocery shopping and he finds the can that's dented to get money off of it. That's what he is. And if you don't believe that, then all you got to do is look no further than the last 2 years of your defensive rankings. And then come talk to me. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But don't you believe that we need a rental? Like most teams get a rental, like a Dominican Sue, like the Eagles.
I'm cool with
you
that.
need one of those
I'm
rentals.
cool with that. Yeah, but he's not doing that. That's my point. Let the people know where they can find you at. Darcy, I want to so that people can locate you and can show you
I'm the founder of the oldest Facebook group, the Detroit Lions News. I'm also an admin for the Detroit Lions like page. It's 27K. Also admin to the NFC North, the Huddle. That's 28K. I'm mostly Facebook. I'm not on Twitter. You could email me at Detroit Lions News Show at gmail.com. Hit me up. I'm always available. I'd love to do shows. I can't wait for Luke G to come on. I've had 6 former players on in the last 10 episodes, like Glover Quinn, Stefan Logan, yada, yada, yada. Please, hit me up. And I love to talk Lions. I also have sponsorship at Jacoby's at 10 o'clock on game day on Brush Street. We have the whole second floor. We're going to have cheap drinks. We're going to do a podcast. We're going to have former players there. I'm so excited for this year. I know I said a 9 because I'm humble, but I think we're going to win the fucking division. We're going to fucking put our boot right on their fucking throat and destroy the fucking North.
I love it. My real Detroit Lions fan, DSA brother and all, my man Andrew sums up in the building. Give the people your final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having me. Obviously, it's been a minute, so it's always cool catching up and everything. And hopefully they make the right choice. Hit defensive heavy. Hope to God we can get Trent Simpson somehow and build that linebacker core.
Yeah, 100%, man. Listen, y'all know me. I can't never end the show unless I do it on a positive note. And so today's positive quote comes from me, and it's a simple one. It's called "Build Your Own Bridge." I know this is going to be a little bit different for people, but build your own bridge. You see, the idea of doing this could be a many things. It could be you going to do the hard work and putting the footwork forward. But I like to look at building your own bridge with more self-awareness and being more defined in who you are as a person and a human being. The changes that you're going to make towards yourself are going to be more greater than trying to get other people to change with you. And at that point, you need to find ways to make yourself something that is unrecognizable, something that is different, something that stands out to where a person has to ask themselves, what are you doing to just have so much glow to you? Find a way to build yourself up. Find a way to make yourself better. Find a way to challenge yourself. Find a way to push yourself. And then make sure that when you do it and you reach the mountaintop, you just remember that you got to push it a little bit further to touch the sky. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I got one final note for you, and that's a simple one.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
That's my favorite movie.
Hey,
One of my favorite movies.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. As always, it's been fun. It's been a pleasure. This one lasted longer. I'm thankful for every person who came on. So many people and everybody who rocked in here, even the people who disagree with me and still rock with me to tell me I was full of crap. I appreciate you. Thank you. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out.